Right, hello everybody. Welcome. So we're early today. Where's all the comments and praise for the 120 seconds early? If 120 seconds is so important. Oh god, we were echoing a little bit there. All right, hello everybody. Welcome. What happened to the title? What do you mean? What happened to the title? We're on part 4. But yeah, hey guys. Chat's really active already. Jesus. I'm hoping season 4 will end at the pier in Kaineng, looking up at this futuristic Asura tech city with the Emperor about to attack a dragon. So you say Asura tech, is that just an example of like the kind of aesthetic? Or do you mean quite literally it's Asura technology? Turns out that the Asura beneath in the depths, some of them surfaced in Cantha, collaborated with the xenophobes there and literally accelerated their progress and understanding. Omicron style, we take one of the Cortiri races and dump them in an expansion area. Is that what you mean? I kind of like both. I like the idea that human ingenuity gets them to where they want to be. The thing is, right, I mean, I've been playing a lot of the Festival of the Four Winds. Every day I make sure I get my full... I do the daily every time. I've just finished all of my Sovereign weapons. I'm going for the Zephyrite skins, all of that stuff. I do it every time, right? But every time I go to the Labyrinthine Cliffs, I hear those lame Omicron. They are so irritating to me. It's like, how are you remotely Char? I'm in the middle of doing the Corteria LP, right? Where Char are pretty badass, you know. They're polluting and destroying the environment and covering everything in tar and ash and soot and smoke. And they don't care about black lung and stuff. And then you go and you see these Omicron. Oh, some of the Char are littering. Oh my goodness, they're littering. And there's another one where they're like, I think I threatened one of them. Oh dear. And they're like, oh, how did you threaten one of these Zephyrites? Well, I tried to smile at him. Oh, you must have looked quite intimidating when you smiled. It's like, oh, God. I mean, honestly, just this super... It never struck me when the patch itself came out. But they really decided, hey, let's take the Char and make them the lamest, most antithetical, shittiest version of the race they can be. Let's do that. They're just so uncool. But, I don't know. Maybe there's a place for it in a big franchise like this, where there's lots of space for lots of different kinds of stories and stuff. But every time, I've got to say, I grate my teeth and I'm like, oh, I'll mute the audio if I have to, and I just move on. If I remember rightly from the patch itself, they were pretty cool. Benji, it would be a bit of a tease if we were at the pier and then we had to wait for the expansion. Oh, no, I agree. I think that one of the things Arena aren't very good at the moment is cliffhangers and teases and, like, leaving us on precipices to stare over. I don't think they've been good at that since Flashpoint, probably. Not even Episode 6 really... I mean, Episode 6 kind of did, but the leaks ruined it, so maybe we can't fault the game because the leaks ruined something. I guess it's fair. Maybe Episode 6 they were alright with the cliffhangers as well. But POF didn't have a really good... I mean, POF kind of did as well because it had the attack on Amnoon. It just never paid off in the end. That's the problem. They don't pay off on their cliffhangers very well or set them up long term. It's just, oh, here's a vision. There you go. That's the desert. Now we're excited. So I don't know. Don't worry, they're just setting them up to be brutally conquered by the Blood Legion in Cow. I would be so happy if in Cogs of War that happened. I had a weird idea that just tickled me for some reason about Cogs of War. And that's the idea of... Because I was getting into it, there's some audio in one of the videos where you hear the Flame Legion talking about the Flame Citadel. And it's not really that amazing, the audio I edited in. But I wanted to include it in the LP just because it's actually quite rare to hear in voice acting... members of the world talk about the Flame Citadel. We hear about the Black Citadel in tons of voice acting and UI and stuff all over the place, and we face it all the time. And obviously the Flame Citadel is the location of some crucial story in a dungeon. But in truth, you don't really hear that much about it, so I wanted to, you know, squeeze that lemon as much as I could, and since there was a guy referencing it, blah, blah, blah. It got me thinking about the Citadels, and I just had a weird idea that in Cow... What if we find out there's a ton of, like, disconnected Char that have just... And they're like, oh, we have, like, some absurd number of Citadels out there. Be careful, because we've got loads of Citadels out there. And it brings this impression to your mind that there's these ridiculous hordes and legions of Char lands far off. which is an exciting point already. You might think unrealistic and downplays the strength of the Black Citadel and stuff, but what would be cool is then as you explore through Cogs of War, you realise fairly mediocre and even small outposts are just quite egotistically and brazenly being called citadels. It's just like, this is the Grizzlebane Citadel, and really it's just a couple of tents, and you could have your characters be like, Citadel, huh? Sure, okay. And then, I don't know, it's a weird, strange thought I was thinking of the other day. Take me with you today, says Smitsky. Well, we are now in 6-man parties, so if enough people are there for Cantha, we can fill you all in, hopefully. I mean, yeah, there's going to be 5 of you that get in, and by the end of today's stream, we'll be in 8-man areas. We'll be at Zandaijan by the end of this stream, easily. Probably even halfway through, depending on how much I ramble here at the start, so it'll be good, guys. We'll be fine. When will we get the BDO VR video? I don't know. I'll tell you what, though, guys. Oh, I shouldn't do this. I always mess up when I talk about ideas. Screw it, I will try. I'm pretty tempted, in celebration of the Cantha playthrough here, to do the Cantha unboxing. I don't know, that might be really fun. Or I might delay it until there's some kind of announcement from the devs of a Guild Wars 2 expansion. But I'm kind of excited. That might be kind of cool. I kind of just want to set it up and be done with it properly. So you might find a different style video. I also had... I mean, I know you guys are excited about the unboxing, but I might actually get views on it if I wait until the devs announce something Cantha-oriented, which is kind of the point, right? But over on Twitter, I had a tweet 5 hours ago. He's not responded yet. Kevin, if you are out there, he was digging through some of my old tweets, apparently. A bit back during the World Cup, I said this. In other news, I'm currently selling my soul in order to get my hands on a set of Guild Wars skill pins. Let me know if any of those Guild Wars giveaway winners eBays them or something. And lots of people were like, yeah, I got a few likes on it, blah, 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 blah. Nothing came of it, though. You know, it was half a joke tweet, half a sincere cry for some skill pins. Kevin responded to me 5 hours ago. Hello, Kevin. He says, I could help you with those wooden potatoes. Are you going to the meetup in Cologne? And I'm not. I haven't even talked about it, and absolutely not. But I've just responded to him. 2 hours ago, I responded. I said, oh, no, listen, I'm not going there, Kevin. But DM me if you want to make something happen. I really want him to ship me those. If I get a collection of skill pins, you will 100% get a video, an unboxing video on those. I will absolutely 1000% show you all the skill pins without a fucking doubt. And you would see that. And that wouldn't be time sensitive. I'd do that as quick as possible because I can still refer back to the Guild Wars giveaway, which was kind of recent memory. But if, you know, it would seem a bit arbitrary to do a Cantha unboxing. Anyway, that was, he hasn't responded, and his idea might have just been, oh, if I could meet you in person, I'll do it. He might not be interested in shipping anything and stuff like that. I'm also interested in the state of the, what's it called? There's another thing. What was the big community initiative recently? The tarot cards. I'm kind of interested in shipping for all that kind of stuff. The Factions Collector's Edition was a lot more common than the first. Yeah, in order of rarity, the Nightfall one was super common. The Factions one was... Well, listen, they manufactured a ton of the Nightfall ones, and it was just as, like, the fever of doing collector's editions and stuff was really hitting fever peak, and lots of gamers in general were more than familiar with it. The Factions one, as far as I recall, was a bit rarer and may genuinely have been a bit more limited. At the very least, the price of Mini Kunavac. So when you bought when you bought collector's edition Nightfall, you got Mini Varesh with it. Mini Varesh was never worth very much in the in-game economies. Never. Or maybe in the much later days it became worth something, which suggests that lots of people bought Collector's Edition Nightfall. However, Collector's Edition Cantha Factions gave you a Mini Kunavang, and Mini Kunavang were really pricey. They were really, really expensive, much, much more so than Varesh. And you might say, well, look, Kunavang looks way cooler than Varesh, and that's definitely a thing, you know. Mini South Sun Farron sells for a lot less than Mini South Sun Kazmir because one's a naked man and the other one's a naked lady, and all the nerds on the internet want the naked lady, not the naked man. So even though the supply is the same, the demand is different. But I do think that the Factions Collector's Edition was rarer. And then finally, the Prophecies Collector's Edition, super rare. Really, really, really rare. To find a high quality, like mint condition one of those would be crazy. I have one. I got it a long time ago. I've never looked at it. I've never opened it. simply because I want to do it in an unboxing video at some point when I've finished the factions one as well. But yeah, that thing was actually genuinely rare. That was a year before all of this, and that fever pitch that was landing by the time Nightfall was out wasn't really there. Farron is worth 10 times Casimir in your opinion? Yeah, but there's no breasts, Benji. Where are the breasts? If there are no breasts, I'm not interested in utilizing it on my character in the MMO. That's why female human is meta. Heartthorns introduced movement mechanic gliding and its cash cow was skins. POF introduced movement mechanic mounts and its cash cow was mount skins. What movement mechanic ArenaNet could introduce in the next expansion and monetize it with skins? I don't know. Fishing and fishing rod skins? I don't know. I really don't. I think that Guild Wars have got a lot to give. I think a ton of the systems they already have a ton to give and could be milked hardcore. There's a lot of places where if Guild Wars 2 design was a little bit different, they'd be cash cowing just naturally. They could cash cow harder on inventory slots. They could cash cow harder on character slots. It just all depends on the way that the designers actually incorporate the content. And mounts, they can continue adding skins. And gliders, just as they still do. We just had a new glider skin came out, and I'm sure that was a cash cow of its kind. But yeah, I don't think we need to go into massive, crazy naval areas. It is Guild Wars 2 at the end of the day. It's not going to become... what's that game? What's the pirate game that came out recently? Jesus, why can't I remember the name of it? Anyway, look, I don't know whether it will go full on in that direction, even though the engine seems to be getting updated. Alright, this is way too rambly. It's really cool, guys. I will see you all in just a second. I'm going to go get some coffee, and then we will get in and play, and we'll make the most of this 2 hours to actually make sure we get off of Star Island if possible. Let's do it, guys. I'll be back very soon for more Guild Wars 1 factions. I'm back. Hello. That didn't take long because I'd pre-boiled the kettle. I do also have a icy can of Fanta here, which I will thoroughly enjoy. It's one of my last chances, really. It feels like summer's on its way out. It's August, but it feels, I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that the UK got really overcast again, and it's, I don't know, it's bumming me out a little bit. So Cottage just said in chat, I'm somewhat surprised by Wood and Potatoes' opinion on the Omicron. Sure, they have their cute side, but they're also badass magic user druids, as demonstrated in episode 2 and 3, called Botica Fluffy, and she'll skin you alive. I'm not sure I really feel that Botica's that ruthless. But to be very, very clear, the really lame Omicron are the ones in the festival. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that the ones at the festival are super lame. I did say a second ago that I don't remember them being that lame during the patches themselves, and they have strength. They were kind of cool and badass. One of the most distinct memories I have of the patches is the way that they slouched back on the chairs, throne-like, and looked down at us. Like friggin' Jarls in Skyrim or something. That they were cool, and there's definitely cool elements to them, and I appreciate that the space that the char can encompass is broadened. It's kind of a weird thing going on with Guild Wars, because Guild Wars cares a lot about very serious, real issues that I care about too, and that's the idea that you're not limited by your birth, and you don't have to be confined into a box. You can be anything you want to be, whether that comes down to your race or your gender or whatever. You know, you find that they very clearly hold that quite close to them, and that it slips into the game quite often. I think they're all very noble and just and brilliant causes. But I find it interesting as subject material, and I feel like maybe that's a bit of what's going on with the Omicron, right? Because it's like, oh, well, let's just show how the Char don't have to be horrible and ruthless and slaughtering bad people all the time. We'll make the Omicron to show that they're, they can basically be Norn, And as much as I'm very, very respectful of anyone a champion of those causes, and I think it's fine to infuse that in products, I wonder how far it can be pushed in fantasy franchises where kind of, in a weird way, you create these distinctions between your races and your various set pieces within your franchise to celebrate the differences between them. Like, what's a char worth in the end if you've just made it a complete pansy? Do you get what I mean? It's not that there's anything wrong with pansies. It's not anything that there's something wrong with a specific char pansy. But from the writing room, what are you serving it? Eventually, like, you can do it to make a point here and there. And maybe that's still what you consider ArenaNet's doing. But I think I feel a little bit of a thing with ArenaNet where there might be too much. There might be such a thing purely from a writing standpoint of you kind of dissolve the waters too much. It's like, well, what's the point? Because we're writing all of our various factions and origins and whatnot as the same anyway now. We've left so much malleability and wiggle room that what's pointed or distinct or interesting about our world anymore, And I feel that a little bit, and that comes out a little bit with the Omicron, which is the only way that I would criticize it as a bad move. I keep hearing notifications. What's going on, guys? Let's have a look here. What the hell? Dog? What? You guys can't see this. Dargosian. What? What is this? Hold on. So I went live about 20 minutes ago, and immediately Zebra subbed with Amazon Prime. Thank you so much to Zebra for doing that. That's very cool of you. And followed straight away by Alien EXE, their 21st month in a row, and said potato pie. Thank you. And then Darg, who made these super edit for the Aspect Arena. I kept wanting to say Zephyrite Arena there. And also, as long as I can get off my ass and actually find some time to watch it, we might see a super edit come out of the No Skills Challenge. Dog says, donated £5, and thank you very much, and said, hey, WP, been a while since I last donated, so let's do a big one, but I'm going to break it down. Okay, so he gave me £5 and then triggered a separate notification of £2 and said, here's for getting me into Guild Wars 2, and another one of £2, so we're up to £9 so far. Thank you very much. Here's to all the great LPs, another £2, 11 total. Here's for fixing my sleep schedule with your 10 a.m. streams. Dude, if I fix your sleep schedule, I'll actually take that as that. You can thank me for that. That's cool, dude. And I've certainly needed my help with that in the past. Dog, again, up to £13. Here's for getting me into Guild Wars 1 as well. up to £15. And most recently, here's for getting that 1 million Twitch viewers. Thank you very much. And then finally, a tenner on top. Wait, I just lost my place. So you just gave me £25? Now, with that feeling stuff out of the way, we can get to important business. Can you say Ming Long Ting Pong Ching Kong Wong in your Canton accent? Ming Long... I don't... that was basically it. I'm scared of that because that's going to be way too, like, rude. But thank you, dude. I will note as well, you breaking it down, I don't mind, and I'm not being picky, choosing beggars. This is not what this is. Just so that you know, in case you do it to any other streamers or people watching, think of doing that. The people who behind stream labels who run the little notifications, they dip in on every individual event. So if you do lots of small packets to spam up a stream or something, and that's fine, I don't mind. It's not like I get any spam, so... I know that it came from a good place. Well, you do give other people more of a cut, just so that you know. But that's very, very sweet of you. Thank you very, very much. That's really nice. I don't often, especially not when we go back to Guild Wars 1 and stuff, get that kind of generosity. So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's very sweet of you. And Pixie Lou as well gave me a 1-viewer host. So cheers, dude. That's lovely. We're not particularly advertised or anything today, guys. So it's just going to be a very chill day. To tell you the truth, I'm really tired. I'm sleepy today. Right, let me become the party leader here. There we go. And you guys can resend your invites now. Yeah, I'm a sleepy potato today. I've been trying to wake myself up a bit, and I hope that this coffee will work. I'm sleeping perfectly normally. It was just at about 5 or 6 this morning. I woke up in bed. I didn't get out of bed or anything. I just stayed in bed, but I was suddenly wide awake, and then I tried to get back to sleep, and I spent maybe the next 4 hours just like sleeping, but not deeply, let's put it that way, and I can feel it hitting me now. Alright, so let's be discerning about who we get. We are now in 6-man party areas. As always, I'm going to pick the people closest to my level, which means we might not get Smitsky. Smitsky's the last one sending a request. He's level 15. He's going to break the game. That's too high, Smitsky. That's too high, dude. Come on. I'm only level 10. That's pushing it. You are 50% stronger than me. That's going to break the game. Dargo is perpetuating imperialism by promoting big company revenues. Perfect for the Canton stream theme. Hey, Canton kind of is in that place, actually, a little bit now. If anyone else dips in, I'll take it. Otherwise, I'll go with Smitsky. Alright, Smitsky, you can only have half a skill bar, dude. Alright, okay. So, yes, we're at Saitang. Let's just get moving, because we weighed down yesterday's stream with so much crap. We already read this description as well about how it's the largest harbour, and it felt like maybe some old design. There are a few quests. I saw someone was recommending that I pick up a very specific quest that gives 4k XP here, which I'm going to. Doing side quests at this point in Cantha is really important for getting levels. Really important, because they bum you with a ton of experience, and you kind of need it if you're going to keep up with the pace of the levels increasing. So, Lady Mukai Musagi, Jatoro! Jatoro! This is also a tie to a Nightfall quest, by the way. Jatoro! You there, can you help me? The Crimson Skull have taken my son hostage. I heard that they usually sail out of Hanjiang Pier, and that is where I last saw him. Please, help me rescue Jatoro. Jatoro will be saved, I promise you. If they feel really thick with the kind of... They really are very good with place names and character names and stuff to make this feel Asian. They did a lot better, it feels like, with this than Nightfall did with North African kind of themes and ideas. Or maybe I'm wrong about that, and it's just that Path of Fire didn't do well, and Path of Fire is my most recent experience of that region of the world. But they really went hard with it. All right, so let's do the Jatoro quest. Jatoro is a young boy who has been kidnapped by the Crimson Skull. But what if I told you that he hadn't actually been kidnapped? Whoa, maybe something else is going on. So I'm going to pay more attention as well to buffing and using Brutal Weapon today. I'm guessing Bacon and Potato will be the main guy to get it. I might give it to Doom Fakes as well, the Dervish. All right. Out into Jaya Bluffs. Very pretty area. Oh. But where would we be without Umod? Let's put on today. I'm gonna have a UI skin on today. Don't care. Let's just run Dark Glass today. There you go. Cheeky. Very different. Nice. Elegant. Sleek. You too can create this kind of infrastructure for Guild Wars 2. Search up Umod and lend your developer talents. I will give you 400 gems if you make Umod 60 FPS compatible with Guild Wars 2. Thank you. I'll put on the higher res skills as well, because, I mean, come on, they look gross. High res skill icons. Boom. And then clear skills. Boom. Love it. Okay. Clear skills doesn't get rid of the weapon icon on the top right of these. Which is a bit of a shame, because the actual blade stabbing into this character's neck, you can't see because it's obscured. Only 400 gems. Actually, to tell you the truth, I'd offer a lot more than that. I'd offer my entire monthly stock of gems to people to do that. But I feel like it would still not be enough. I'm asking for like something really tangible and real there. I'd like to think that payment would be, holy shit, you'd radicalize and change and create all these new Guild Wars 2 experiences, and you'd change the face of a side of the Guild Wars 2 scene. I mean, I'd hope people would be invested in that instead of just gems. But it hasn't happened on its own, so maybe I'm wrong. So you'll notice this UI skin here, guys, as well. Let me turn the game audio on. Oh, why has that been off? Has that been off the entire time? You'll notice here that now the UI has given us this line on our party bar. And what this is doing is showing us when we hit 50% as a health threshold, which can be useful for various purposes. Based on, you know, skills that do different damage at different thresholds. You can imagine very comfortably, I'm sure, how good that would be in Guild Wars 2. And indeed, people do approximate that with various things. So we can change the texture on anything, but not the shape, alright? So when you're thinking about the Guild Wars 2 variant, you couldn't change the health orb back into a health bar or something. You couldn't mess with the, you know... And because there's no native Guild Wars 2 version of this, you wouldn't necessarily be able to do that. I mean, through some really hacky stuff, you probably could. But, yeah, Umod wouldn't be for that. It'd just be for reskinning. So Might Evil was Verizon. This was what gave it... Yeah, look at all of our energy, man. Holy crap. We got up to 60 energy. Oh. That feels good. And what we can do is we can cast into the first 30 of it. And it doesn't even affect us. It's like having an energy swap. It doesn't even affect us. That's awesome. Okay, where is Jotaro, though? Hold on. I guess it's changed our green starburst into a triangle, which is curious, but those make some sense. So one nice thing about Rit is the skills 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for me here are all just spirit summons, which don't take it or require an enemy target, which means I can always have my target on bacon and potato there, which means I can easily keep my weapon upkept on him without any weird messy stuff. I can also, let's see, our spawning power isn't that high, so we get 24 seconds of brutal weapon. I can almost maintain it on both the Derv and the Assassin at once now, which is also kind of nice. We just got to watch for the cooldown. I must admit this UI is not very good with the cooldowns. Maybe I can add the numbers on there or something. But here I've got both of them buffed. They're both striking for an extra plus 10 damage on each hit, which is a good modifier in Guild Wars 1. When the numbers are all a lot lower, a plus 10 damage on every packet can represent, you know, a huge percentage increase overall. And when we're out of energy, we can Enfeebling Blood. I actually really like how well the sacrifices can supplement a Rit build. It's kind of sad, isn't it? But I really think it's good. There's Bacon again. For example, we're at 0 energy. Straight back to Enfeebling Blood there. But obviously we're out of target. He's dropped an idol. I haven't really looked at the environment at all as we've gone through here, but this area of the game is beautiful. We'll be back here anyway for the primary quest. We're kind of doing things a bit out of step because the primary quest wants us to come back through this whole region. That's fine though. We can have fun doing it twice in a row. Yeah, and I have keybinds set up for party members. We did that in a rush on like the second stream, the start of the second stream. I'm still getting used to what I did though, because I have no muscle memory for any of this. What's kind of beautiful about Guild Wars 1 is if you really keybound properly, you could have binds for so many different things to just instantly whiz to any party member you like at a moment's notice. The game isn't twitchy enough to really need that, but it's kind of an interesting thought that you could be some ridiculous savant that does such a thing. But I like this because it means I'm not C-spacing so much. Let's keep going. Oh, the exit is over here. Hold on. So Is this just a sneaky extra area of the cave that we just get to look out of? It is. It's a dead end where we just get to look out of. There you go. Northern side of the town. Now, down there is a very special place. I give this anecdote almost every time it comes up in a video or something, but I'm going to do it anyway. This place down there, can you see really... You guys probably can't on Twitch, can you? Maybe you can. Full screen and go back up to 1080p. Go up to source for me, guys. Can you see those things shaking around down there? They're pigs. These are pigs over here as well. They're actually creatures down there, but they're like two-dimensional. They're billboards, and the village itself, while there's an illusion of a really, miles away, there's a village there. In truth, in engine, it's extremely close to us. If I toggle off the 2018 advanced graphics, you might see as well. Nah, it looks a bit crapper down there, but the view distance is the same. Basically, this is the illusion that there's a town ages away. It's actually really close, and these are just small buildings. Years ago, I saw a YouTube video, buried on YouTube, of a guy who hacked Guild Wars 1. And I don't know how prevalent it was. Certainly as a mainstay player, I never knew anyone that was genuinely hacking, like, majorly and doing a lot of it. But it was a video on YouTube of a guy who'd hacked Guild Wars 1, and he was basically free camming around and no-clipping around. And, wait, is this the story, or have I started to mess it up? It's been so long now. But I got an impression and a vision of what this place looked like, and it was just totally bonkers and bizarre and really weird. They had a scene of Kamadan as well, and it was really weird to notice it. Then, many years later, when ArenaNet stopped caring about the integrity of Guild Wars 1, and they let people run Toolbox, or didn't even know the existence of it because they have 0 out of 400 devs even looking at their original product, until very recently with SCW and Bill and all these other movements recently. In the interim, when Toolbox first came out, I used Toolbox and went down there and actually got to see it for myself. In fact, if you go to me on Patreon, this isn't all about just shilling for Patreon, I promise, but I offer exclusive videos that you don't get anywhere else. One of them is a guide to Toolbox, and I only offer that there because I asked whether they would be comfortable with me putting it en masse on YouTube, and they said they wouldn't be comfortable, so I just made it a Patreon thing. If you go and look at my Patreon video on Toolbox, the guide to how it all works and stuff, it's about 1.5 years old now, you'll see me fly down there. And I always wanted to, just because it was a cool, weird place, and to see it for myself was nice. Yeah, if you reported people for running Toolbox, pretty much every Guild Wars 1 stream these days you'd end up reporting. We've hosted several people, and a lot of them are using the minimap thing up at the top. Not recently, but our previous hosts as well. They're on Toolbox. Because the Toolbox minimap is awesome. I kind of want to show it on the series, but again, if the devs aren't comfortable with it, I'll be a good little boy, and I'll try and be a respectful professional. Ouch, I'm getting beaten up. Okay. Level 14, Frenzied Lightning Orb. So on the top left, you'll see my incoming damage. I just got autoed by a hammer there. I did summon... I recognized there was a threat, and I summoned Shadowsong. I was hoping that Shadowsong would blind what I wanted, but it didn't. I'll probably open on Union now, then. Yeah, it's going to start getting dangerous, and we're going to be underleveled. I need armor. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Oh, it's my armor rating. Of course. You actually have to gear while leveling in this Guild 1. Mind-blowing, I know. Alright, I should go do that. Money for that, though, might be tricky. This might be where I am a bit of a pauper and beg from you guys. Or I'll just let other people aggro first. We'll open with more weapon skills and focus on defense next time. Or we'll just start remembering using Mighty Was Verizon, because then I get a ton of energy. Someone else in our team doesn't have armor either. You can spend your monastery credits for a better weapon as well. Oh yeah, because we got 4, and after this mission we should probably have 5, which I think is the threshold to get the good gear, so. Have to gear up, boring, leave the game. I tried Monster Hunter World yesterday. And I know that will excite a lot of you, and you'll be, oh, you're going to do streams and videos. I have no plans to do that. I'm just trying to keep in touch with games as they come out. Some people very close to me have been very enthusiastic about it. It was a lot of fun, and that's a game that released in 2018 and appreciates that gear is still, a fun part. In fact, that game has done well enough, and Monster Hunter in general as a franchise has done well enough to recognize leveling isn't as fun as gearing, really. So they just get rid of the leveling side of it. Alright, O-Gun's down. I don't have a res either. I should probably keep weakness out on them all. So I'll put weakness on this Dragon Lily. Hopefully my allies don't get diverted too much. Oh god, it's really weird casting skills because I have the binds to move up and down to party one layer next to my weapon utilization. It's odd. Dissonance, in case someone aggroes us, maybe. Or I can pull this. There you go. I'm happy to bait diversion. I have no intention of casting anything too soon. Let's put... okay, now, if you see, our weapon just timed out, thus leaving us bereft of energy, which is kind of cool. Luckily, Mighty Wars Verizon only costs 5 to get up, so we spend 5 to get a huge chunk back up, so that's nice. Keep the Shadow Song rolling. It looks like we're still going to go this way. Dark Glass is confusing me because no green there is kind of weird. The Diversion Hex sound effect still makes you sit up and pay attention. Dude, that's cool. Yeah, I think leveling's fairly arbitrary. I do believe in leveling for what it's worth. I think the best RPG, and I'm sure RPGs have done this before, I've just personally not played them. In my mind, the best RPG has leveling, and it gives you, like, stats you can allocate to a minor degree, but you have the choice, similar to how Guild Wars 2 lets you choose. Guild Wars 1 lets you choose. Guild Wars 2 is like automatic on-rails leveling bullshit where you just get a ton of stats you're not even sure what they are. You don't allocate or anything. What's the point in a system like that? I don't believe in that. But I believe leveling where you get some attribute and you can spend, you know, there's a decision on what you spec into, it is worthwhile. But also, I would just have leveling as a pure means of gear acquisition. Like, literally, all the stat increases... like raw stats, so like stuff like skill points and things like that, they can sit on top of the leveling system. But in terms of attributes and things, I just have it all be gear, and the levels unlock the gear. Just like you cannot wield this until you're level 22, and then once you're level 22 you wield it. And so here I gave a weapon to the Ellie. We're all getting owned, guys. We need armor. This is bad. Looks like we needed Smitsky in the end. Is he still going up there? I mean, we're pressuring and blinding. He's trying the res sig. I'll keep him feeble going. I'm not going up there too heavy, though. Okay, they've summoned the Fire Imp. They've brung in the big boys. Rip Charlie. He died instantly. Okay, yeah. They're going to get through the spirits here, guys. I'd like to point out that I've done some reasonable damage here. Oh, God. Conjure Phantasm. No, move, move, move. This isn't good. I'm so dead. Look at this. Rip. I got no hex removal. I'm out. It's over, guys. I could have bum rushed back in and Shadow Songed or something. Anyway, yeah, I think that's all you need for a leveling system. Give people something like a hero point or an attribute point for like perk-wise stuff. But attributes, don't give them actual like points. Don't give them stats from leveling. Just bundle all stats onto gear. Can you imagine how good and rewarding like the sword is when you know that all your stats are actually coming from the sword? All of them are coming from the sword. I think that gives more control to players as well in terms of trying to go outside of the game's remit in healthy ways, like challenge runs and stuff. I just think it's all you need, and it's meaningful, it's impactful. Guild Wars 2 made leveling, again, all on servers of quality of life and efficiency and speed ups, and it just boiled away all the flavor that's, like, what's the point in having an RPG when you go that far? Just get rid of leveling. Scale everything to your level, and that's the other thing I like about Monster Hunter. It's not scaling stuff, it's literally saying, look, this thing's hard, you need multiple people. Like, it's real. It's good. I'm really happy to see, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Capcom has got some sense about them. So, yeah. Yeah, we kind of need to pull people away from that group, but it's a hell of a group. You made it. You're late, but at least you made it. Don't worry, dude. We've got quite a bit of the stream left, and we will be in an 8-man area soon-ish, hopefully. I mean, the death penalty is rolling in now, so we do have to be cautious. In Guild Wars 1, the tutorial ended at level 20. I don't think that's particularly true either, to be honest, that you were always learning things. Games get boring if you're not constantly learning things and they're not changing the formula and tweaking things up. Most games, anyway. Unless they're extremely well designed and they've just got a lot of inherent, infinitely replayable stuff. So I'm going to strafe cancel here to stop pain from wounding my allies. Oh, it's retargeted. All right, let's just get these up, shall we? Oh, this boss is so hard. I've been imagined burdened. No, what the hell, man? Signal of Rage? How much did that hit me for? Okay, I got rezzed. I need to summon Mighty Wars Verizon. We will do this, don't worry. We just got to get energy. And then we got to get Union up to help people out a bit. Dissonance to run interrupts. That's 25 energy for Dissonance there. And then Shadow Song for blinds on anyone else. They cleared it out. What a ball. Look at this. We probably pulled him there. I'm willing to bet that one of our Ellies blew people up. Again, if I was running Toolbox, we could have a meter on and see who's actually doing well. That might be fun. Might be. I don't know. Some of you guys might have hang-ups about that stuff still. Let's just basically try and create a meat shield of sorts. I cannot be the first one to go in. We've got our minion monster all the way back here, which is terrible. He needs to get in so that the minions get in. Look, they're not doing anything, man. Go. You need to press space and auto-attack once so that they go. All right, there we go. Good heals coming in here, by the way, as well, from Ollie. Spirits are melting down, out of energy again. We're starved. What I need to do is remember to juggle Mighty Was Verizon. Let's get some weakness out. I need to remember to refresh this before the weapon, the urn, leaves my hands. That way you don't get these horribly starved deficit moments. We'll take our target on bacon and potato here again. Let's give him his weapon. I'm going to Enfeebling Blood through the wall. It is AoE, but I think I did that a little bit silly, really. I'll put a spirit here in case someone comes to melee us. Bacon isn't doing anything with the weapon, so I'm going to start casting it on the dervish. He's running up a bit more aggressively. Shadow Song here. Oh, that's a hell of a ball. I don't have enough energy. Oh, my God. Look at this. This is crazy. There's so many Crimson Skull. I don't remember there being such a horde of Crimson Skull. Maybe we should just go back and get armor. You guys, when you see the story here as well, it will make you laugh. You vote for Toolbox, be a bad boy. Not every aspect of Toolbox is bad. There's a thing, the devs never confirmed it, but there's a general sense and a general feeling that a lot of the updates Bill Fries and SCW did very recently, they were Toolbox features. FOV manipulation, zooming out your camera further than you used to be able to back in the old days. All that stuff, that's Toolbox domain. And so a lot of people are speculating that maybe the Guild Wars 2 devs did that to integrate the more legitimate aspects of Toolbox into the engine so that they can more comfortably say, yeah, don't run Toolbox. You know, that's the danger of opening stuff up to your community in the way that Guild Wars 1 did, through neglect, really. It's not easy to ask people to stop using Toolbox because there's a lot of legitimate reasons people want to run it. And it's just such a weird grey area. So, if you make all the legitimate things native, then there's no reason to run it, and the possibility people will come head-to-head with, you know, auto skill users and things like that it's got bundled in. Should we try one more? We'll try one more. I'm on 50%, guys. Honestly, I'm going to be crying from the back. I'm just going to cast this weapon skill and let you guys do it all. No more boldness from me. I'm going to be hiding, quaking in my boots. You think you got someone for that help with that quest too? I mean, it's fine. Someone's leaving a monstrous eye. Bacon, pick that monstrous eye up, man. What are you doing? That's some good loot right there. Outrageous. Well, if we wipe again, I'll be getting that. I'll be picking that up. You bought Guild Wars 1 recently and you never managed to beat the Final Prophecy story mission. You be very careful about how you kill Titans in what orders. But yeah, Titans got really dangerous in the late years because of an early update. So the Mind Sparks and stuff that use friggin... what is it? It's like a quick casting fire spell, I think. It's horrible. It's really dangerous. And I believe the Necromancers, the bigger Titans, the Necros, they use Aura of the Lich too. So if you kill through the chains in the wrong way, they will multiply fast. I don't know whether that's what you struggle with. You kind of want to show me a game design doc you wrote that does gear like that in a way. Instead of leveling the character, you just level the gear and you upgrade the attributes there through spending points on your character at all. I mean, what you're advocating for is no levels. I do like levels. I mean, but you put the levels in the gear. I like leveling characters. Crap behind us. Careful. There's Naga. Okay, I'll start with Union. No matter how much DP we have, the skills will not be less effective. Let's put the weapon on the Dervish. So the Dervish can, with a scythe, cleave with his strike. So each of his cleave hits gets the brutal weapon value. So if I give it to Bacon and Potato, he's got very fast single target pressure. If I put it on the Dervish, he can actually hit 3 at once. So in perfect AoE scenarios, I get more value out of maintaining on the Derv. In single target scenarios and bosses and stuff, it's better on Bacon, in theory. This is so bad. 1 Hex is just getting me killed. Oh yeah, I can just blame the monk, can't I? Check it out, Healing Breeze to counter Conjure Phantasm. Mighty was Verizon. More weakness spreading, pulling down, pulling back, pulling back. I'm trying to click to move a lot and cancel casting my own stuff. Let's get Blood Song up. Good, he's keeping me going. Weapon, Bacon, he's moving. Bacon's moving in. I'm going to try and give him Union. Accumulated pain, man. Rip. There's a hell of a Mesmer out there. It's just this Mentalist. When you get to Visitor Square, we can technically do 16-man teams. That is true as well. The thing is, I anticipate these streams. I don't know whether we'll have that many people watching at that point. It would be lovely if we did. We'll see, though. Filling a full 16-man squad, 8 local, 8 foreign, would be awesome. It really would. Let's hope. That'll only be a couple of streams away as well. You know, we get to the mainland by the end of today. And that mission isn't too far in. This is good. Our spirits can continue doing well. Look at that. We were getting a few numbers out there. You went back to Guild Wars 1 a few months. You forgot how hard it was to play. Also, I had bad habits at Guild Wars 2. Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry. All of our brains rotted a little bit, my friend. So a recurve bow purple. I'll salvage that down. That might help later. I'll get some of this loot here as well. For PvE, that is. For PvE. And low-level PvE, regular PvE, normal gameplay. Not raiding, not fractals, not well versus world, not PvP. I'm not judging or commenting on it now. By the way, I wanted to clarify as well, based on some things I was talking about yesterday. We were talking about like how you ended up being more social, and pound for pound, Guild Wars 1 was probably better at creating social experiences for people and stuff. I want to be clear that when I'm saying that stuff, it's not all about crazy big Guild Wars 2 criticisms. That's not what I'm trying to do. They're just observations about the different ways things can web together in RPGs. I'm not trying to, you know, it's not all me just crying. Sometimes the conversations might sound a bit like that, but they're just idle observations. I'm not necessarily saying one is better than the other a lot, even though I know that's what a lot of you guys are looking for. You're looking for a war between the two games. That's not really what's motivating me. It's just the intrigue of the thing. Alright. That dock is weirdly memorable for you. This dock is completely immemorable for me. The most thing I remember about Haiju Lagoon is the lagoon itself. And this is the coast. Alright, so we slaughter our way through all of the Crimson Skull. And who do we find on the far side? It's Jotaro! Jotaro Musagi! What's his name, sorry? Musagi? By this ship with the Crimson Skull emblem on it, that big red skull. I am in training to be a great warrior, but please do not tell my mother. She thinks I am going to inherit the family business. When my training is complete, I am going to leave this all behind and find adventure. Wait, what? Kidnapped? No! Alright, look. I just want to find my own path, but my mother has already got my entire future planned out for me. Surely a hero like you understands. I love my mother, but she does not want to let me live my own life. So I faked the kidnapping. I am going out to join the pirates in search of adventure. Please give my mother this letter. If she loves me, she will understand. You douchebag. Look, so we did all of that. We slaughtered ourselves upon that wall of Crimson Skull. We killed all of his new friends that were going to get him out there on an adventure. Just to find out that the kidnapping wasn't even real. What a douchebag. Right, let's resign. There we go. So we got the mother's letter now. And let's gear ourselves up, shall we? I've just spent so long ranting about how fun gear is. I'm not saying Guild Wars 1 was great with gear, to be honest. But yeah, we'll spend this 1 platinum, 896 gold. Look at that. So wealthy, guys. So much more wealthy. I'm going to turn... I'll keep Dark Glass on. Why not? I just saw that the defeat icon was a different color, and it just made me want to turn it off. And I realized that that's just my old man brain being like, I don't like change. I do like change. Okay, so here's his mummy. This letter has opened my eyes. I never realized Jotaro had no desire to be a merchant. Of course I support his decision, even if it means a life of piracy. After all, pirates do pretty well for themselves, I hear. Thank you, McPooper. So many silly little random twists and turns. You can feel how the Guild Wars 2 dynamic event levity still was there in Guild Wars 1. Like, that's ridiculous. She's just happy. Yeah, go run off with a bunch of murderers and blood and cutthroats. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, there's that lightness to it. Greetings, I see that you two are a stranger here. My name is Lady Mukai Musagi, a merchant of some means from Kaineng City. My son Jotaro is traveling with me to see more of the world. A worldly education is so important for a merchant, don't you think? I think it's important for everyone, literally everyone. Give me a type of person that worldly intelligence and traveling isn't useful for. Right, so we level again and we get our attributes to allocate. Curses right now on this current setup is just increasing weakness duration. And if I remove my 5 seconds is pretty low. I'm gonna go spawning power though, guys. I wanna tank up my spirits. There, we're gonna get rid of the curses investment for now. I just want to tank up the spirits and increase the duration of the weapons. Then also I want to. We are a pure. I could do armor of unfeeling, but that won't help me. What else have we got under channeling? We can heal our spirits with spirit boon strength. Oh, let's go painful bond. Oh, look. This is the nuke build right here. This is heavy pressure right now. This is a pretty newbie build as well in terms of energy management and stuff. This is crazy. This is all spirit, just nonsense pressure that then doubles because of painful bond. And then we can give an ally a weapon and we got a bit of energy management, a tiny bit. This doesn't even really count. Yeah, this is hilarious. Okay, so that's fine. Let's see what we've got. Brother P1 might be having the primary quest. I'm not sure. Master Togo has sent Zoe, Talon Silverwing, Panaku, and that bumbling Lo Shah to the monastery in Jaya Bluffs. I like how Lo Shah has special distinction as being bumbling. We don't know them because we've not been playing the Mesmer stuff. He believes that the monks there might be able to have some knowledge that will help us combat this plague more effectively. Honestly, he sent Lo Shah, and yet someone of my obvious skills is relegated to the role of such a messenger boy. In any case, he wants to meet them and give them any assistance they may require. Sorry, Brother P1. Ah, another who has strayed from the light. Headmaster Amara said there would be plenty like you. It is sad that you will not have the honor of studying under her. She should really be the master of the monastery, in my opinion. Ooh, crazy. Wait, what profession are they? I forgot about that subplot that someone wanted to usurp the monastery. They did a similar thing with the Sun Spears as well with, 10 points. Not Cossage. Cossage in chat will know, probably. Anyone else, 10 points if you know the name of the Spear Marshal that was wrestling for the position just under and with Cormier. 10 points. In Nightfall. Does anybody actually know? Let's see how big of a lore bomb you guys know. Well, his profession isn't demonstrated on the UI there. Right, okay, so that's the primary quest, and that's all good. No, not Koss. No, there's like a vaguely villainous character. There you go, Jarek. Well done, guys. Some of you know. Jarek. Basics 11 got it first, I think. Right. So what do we got? Are there any skill vendors here as well? Dye traders, weapons, armor. There's armor. There's armor as well. There's armor as well. Are there 3 skin sets to choose from? Or are they all Saitang gear? Okay, it all looks like Saitang gear for now. And then we can get a new weapon. Is this with monastery credits? No, that's actually crafting. I don't know. Canthan bangles. Saitang. Or Xingji. Oh, do you guys want to vote? What are we in right now? Pupil stuff. Yeah, there's 3 skin sets for us to choose from. Which one would you like, guys? See, look, there's more meaning in there being 3 skins because we're picking it rather than it's just throwing it at us as a level up reward. Just because we have to go out of our way to decide what do we want. So yeah, and these will all look different. Xingji, Saitang, or I've forgotten. What is it? Students, was it called? Pupils is what we're wearing. Oh, Canthan. Okay, so 3 sets. There's a straw poll. Have a vote. Whichever one wins, we will we'll go for. Mix and match the perfect combination. Fashion Wars 1. I couldn't think of a more boring waste of time, honestly. For some random transition armor we're going to be geared out of very soon when we hit level 20 anyway. Oh, apparently Pupil is the same as Xingji. Apparently, if you go for Pupil, it is the same as Xingji. So if you vote on Xingji, you are voting on us looking the same. The dyes will be different. So, what one do we want? I think in the LP I went with Saitong. Okay, people are going for Canthan. It looks like Canthan's just about winning. There's not many votes in it. Canthan seems to be winning just over Saitong. So, Canthan it is. I'm surprised that you guys voted on Canthan. Because Saitong is more specific and interesting. Canthan is just like generic of the region, I suppose. You know, the continent. You voted Saitong because it sounds like Zaitan. Does it? Okay, right. What do we need? It's very simple, the first crafting in the game. Look, and they've kept it simple as we are immersed into it. It only gets complicated later. It's just cloth. Lots of cloth that they want. Well, so what we want to do is sell. We can sell to any of these vendors too. Selling tab. Oh, well, actually, I promised you guys I'd show you the salvaging system. So why don't we do that, actually? Let's go to a generic merchant then. Got to find one. I don't miss this about Guild Wars 1, having to press a hotkey to show all objects just to find a vendor. You do get that experience in Guild Wars 2. You get it with when you're like doing collections and you're looking for like lost coins and stuff. But imagine that all the time. That was Guild Wars 1. So it was good that they moved away from that. Right, so first let's identify our magical property stuff. So this recurve bow we can identify and check it out. This has an icy bowstring, which means it does cold damage, and it has another modifier. It does 13% more damage against a hexed foe. So, what's actually kind of interesting about this is we could equip this bow, and because our painful bond is a hex, the painful bond buffs our regular damage too. Do you see how that works? You'll notice that it says it requires 4 marksmanship, and we don't have marksmanship because we're not a ranger. We can still use the bow, and we still get the kind of projectiles and the arc and the distance that the bow offers, but the cold damage will be halved because we do not hit that level of its requirement. It will be halved. So instead of 10 to 16 cold damage, we'll only do 5 to 8. All right? So I'm not going to do it, but I just wanted to show you guys that it was possible. Now, what else have we got to identify? This healing Ankh from before with the healing prayers. It gives 10 energy and 9 armor while our health is getting low. That's kind of nice. And I'm going to give it to my friend over here because direct player trading allows me to think about these kinds of things instead of just TPing stuff and going through clunky mails. There you go. There's a healing Ankh for you, my friend. I ask nothing in return. He might not even want it. It doesn't matter to me. That's the magic of going through an RPG with Franz. We get Monstrous Claw, which we'll probably just sell. Or bacon and potatoes trading something to us. Why do I have 2 ID kits again? Why did I do that? So we've identified everything we care about. Now, the salvaging. I can pick this flat bow, and I can just salvage it. And I get wood out of it. I can pick this enchanted vine, and I can salvage it. That was a trophy item as well, and I get plant fibers from it. This skull coin, I can salvage it into iron ingots. So even trash loot in this game is salvageable into things. Probably better for Guild Wars 2's economy that that's not true there. But this bow, I'll salvage it. And now, because this has got a special mod on it, you'll see I can get it off. The cold damage icy bowstring. Or I can just go for pure crafting materials. Now, the reason I can't mod off the damage plus 13% is because in factions, they didn't allow you to pull off inherent modifiers. That's what that is. That's an inherent modifier there. They didn't let you do that until Nightfall. In Nightfall, they changed things up, and Eye of the North and Beyond, they changed things up and said, okay, well, look, these inherent modifiers, let's call them inscriptions. And on armor, let's call them insignias. And then you could pull them off. But I actually think that the gear system was more exciting in prophecies and factions where there were inherent modifiers that came bound. Because then, when you were rolling for loot, when loot was dropping from mobs, you were rolling for its rarity. Whether it was, you know, well, you were rolling for its skin and then its rarity on top. It could be the skin you want, but it's only white. Or it could be the skin you want, but this one's blue. Or it could be purple. It could be gold. So you're rolling for the skin, the rarity, and then also the requirement. So it could require 13 strength to use, or it could only require 9. Or way back when Prophecies first came out, it could only require 8 or even 7. I think there were even legends on Guild Wars Guru of Q6 stuff that people were trying to sell, which stopped dropping so many years ago. It's ridiculous. But so you were rolling on requirement, on skin, on rarity, and then the inherent mod on top as well, which just created all this just excitement about what kind of loot people were selling to one another in Lion's Arch, and there was that real feeling that you could get something truly extraordinary if the stars aligned. But then the devs kind of went in the other direction with it all, and they decided they don't really like exciting loot like that. They want everything to be as accessible as possible, and we kind of starting with Nightfall. Starting with factions, really, with their condensing of the leveling experience here. We start going down a long road that leads to Guild Wars 2, which is the end point of all of this. Anyway, so there you go. Crafting materials. I don't care about the bowstring, obviously, so we get more wood planks. The Crimson Skull Boots. This is basically a trash item that exists purely to be salvaged. And here we get a tanned hide square. The bow staff, we get more woods. The Crimson Skull Cape. We get cloth. That's what we want to make our thing. And so, yeah, now we got these materials. With these materials... Oh, this guy's given us stuff as well. Awesome. Thank you. So, he's given us a bag, which expands our inventory. We can buy bags from vendors. Here, I will show you this merchant here. Literally, just bags are available. See? So, bag, I'll buy this as well. There you go. So, we got traded one, and we can pick another one up. We can expand even further with Runes of Holding later, but I want to save my money for now. So, yeah, this is how players generated mats in general. Then, you could either trade them directly to buy gear once you'd gathered enough, or you could trade them to other players. Like, for example, I don't need this wood or these ingots, so I could give them to the warriors and the rangers in my party as we go along. Or what we could do is go to a material vendor, and I'm hoping that Saitang Harbor has some. We'll go to the quartermasters in a second. Yeah, they do. So there are materials in the game, and that's what you're looking at, like this. And then there are rare materials, which you've only got a slimmer chance of getting. So you remember this monstrous claw I was jerking off over that dropped before? That's a rare one. So this is like a mini simulated trading post. I can buy materials from this. So I can buy tanned hide squares, and I can buy cloth. I don't have to salvage or get monster loot for it. I just get it. And you see it costs 100 to buy. But you'll notice here I have to request a quote to get it. When I click request a quote, what it's actually doing is the price that this is based on all the other players using this vendor. So, to draw a comparison for those of you who play RuneScape, I don't know what RuneScape's like these days, but back when I used to play, if you went to a merchant and you sold something to a merchant, it got the loot that then other players could trade with. And that's basically what's going on. These vendors simulate mini economies of the stuff that the wares they have. So basically, if loads of players have been selling cloth, cloth gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper at this vendor. If loads of players are buying cloth, it gets more and more expensive. These days, because nobody plays Guild Wars 1, you'll notice that the economy is in a position where everything is ultra cheap because there's tons of supply, very little demand. And that's why it costs 100 for basically everything. But if I kept clicking request quote buy, request quote buy, request quote buy, this would eventually start going up. Not just for me, but for everyone. This is like a mini TP. This is also taxed too, and the values are higher at these. So it's always better to trade with players directly than to go through the tax of this. And so you get a mix of both. You get a mix of convenience through a mini TP, and you get direct player trading, which is much more heavily incentivized. At this point, because of the supply and demand, this is what I'm going to do. I think it was cloth we needed, and this guy's already given us 49, possibly from what he salvaged. So I'm just going to request a few quotes there of batches of these. I'm going to pick up 100, and I'm just going to go and have a look. Then what we'll do is we'll sell our excess materials. So here, when we look at the rare materials, you see that now, look, some of these cost platinum. Obsidian shards, monstrous fangs, monstrous claws. There, look at that, look at that. I can sell this monstrous claw to this vendor for 1 platinum, 900 gold. See? That's good cash right there. We like just doubled our money, our total income, because I picked that up off the floor. So yeah, and sometimes you can salvage these out, but it's lower chances. The higher quality salvage kit you use in your inventory, the better. How often have I had the user interface below my potato here? Has that been a big problem? Imagine just isolating that quote. That's a weird thing to say. But yeah, yeah, so you want higher tier salvage kits to increase your odds of getting rare materials to blah, blah, blah. And you'll see some of these systems overlap with the Guild Wars 2 versions, but where the clarity is lost a little bit. There you go. Okay, so back to... What did you guys vote on again? Canthan, didn't you? Yeah, Canthan. So they only wanted cloth, and we should have more than enough now. So we can get Canthan shoes. We can get Canthan leggings. We can get Canthan bangles. And a Canthan raiment. And I'm going to double-click my way through all of this. Now, this is ritualist armor, remember? The assassin that comes to this vendor will still be buying Canthan, but him wearing Canthan armor looks different to me wearing Canthan armor. It's different. This headpiece, a low-level headpiece like this is actually useful for other stuff in the game, but I'm going to get rid of it. So our old gear only had an armor rating of 5. We're all the way up to 45 now, which is very, very, very big jump because we're playing factions. If we were playing prophecies, it would all be really nicely and beautifully slowly paced out, and we'd gradually build our way up. 60 is max for light armor, so we're at 45 out of 60 already on just our first tier up. So already they've, it's going too quick. But I'm going to delete our old armor to save the space. If we want to play a 600 HP monk or something, you might want to keep these to keep taking maximum damage to make sure you can proc spirits. Oh my god, why can't I remember the name of the skill? Anyway, yeah, so that's all of our gear, the Canthan up to here. But what about our headpiece? So we've got 4 different ones to choose from, and what you'll notice is there's an inherent modifier on these now, and this will go on for the rest of the game, that buffs one of our attributes. So if I remember rightly, you guys voted on communing at the very top, so I'm going to buy the communing head wrap. They all look the same, but this gives me communing +1 that is stacking. And what that means is if I get anything else in the game that also buffs communing, they will double up the effect. This is just a straight up perk for me. It's not like a one-off and it will never go higher than +1. It stacks. So yeah, let's pick up the communing headpiece. And what you might like then is eventually an end game set of armor for each of your different attributes. Or just buy different head wraps and keep the rest of it the same. But later we'll be able to perk these with runes and stuff as well, and insignias and stuff. So don't you guys worry about that too much. But yeah, there you go. That's our new gear, and we now have way more armor. And as you'll notice, we're in a new skin set. So this is how we look now. Is that like a little love heart on our wrist as well? I like the gems and stuff. This one's a lot flashier. And a lot creepier, the headpiece as well. So we could also now go to the dye vendor. Dye vendors work the same way as the material vendors I described before. So if we go over here, you'll notice there's different quotes for dyes. There's not even black on the list right now. Which means that nobody's selling black dye right now at all. If somebody comes to this and sells black dye, it appears on the list, doesn't it? Anyway, you'll notice that white dye is fairly expensive. It's all really low and devalued. But, yeah, they treated this as a very real, thriving part of the economy. The other big difference about dyes in Guild Wars 1 to Guild Wars 2, I never talked about last time we were dealing with dyes. Dyes get consumed. And that means so much, guys. Guild Wars 2 dyes are not just unlockable, they are account-wide unlockable. At least when they were making Guild Wars 2, they were going to do it character-based. But no, then they made it account-bound. So, dye economies in Guild Wars 2 aren't like these thriving, interesting things. They're like just these stagnant quagmires where dyes release, people buy and unlock them, and then a ton just get lost on the TP for years until people slowly buy up the demand. They're not like a thriving part of the game, getting them. They're not constantly being created and deleted. They're just created and then people get them and it's over. In Guild Wars 1, if I want a special brown blend on each of my pieces of gear, I need to buy the brown to mix into each piece of gear. And once I've done it, it's gone. It's over. So I have to reinvest in the economy and playing the game and having loot and understanding of that stuff and utilizing these vendors and being taxed to continue playing Fashion Wars 2, which keeps the game in general much healthier and higher retention. Guild Wars 2 sacrifices all of that, maybe for the worse, maybe for the better, for the convenience of just, yay, I can play Barbie for 5 hours without interrupting anything and ignore the rest of the game. So it's up to you guys where your passions lie with that. But there you go. So that's our better armor. That's that. That's salvaging. I'm now going to go to, I guess we'll keep, so the other thing you can do is you can keep the raw materials in your inventory, right? You can keep it all up at the top. Oh, can I salvage that? That's chitin fragments. You can keep those. Can I salvage this trinket box? Oh, I can. What did it give me? I don't know. But you can do something like this, where just raw materials are at the top of your inventory, and then the ID kits and stuff are at the bottom. And now, whenever I get loot, it will fill everything up, and then I just I just identify everything away. I'll put this mini Abyssal all the way over on the right. And this means that your inventory never really runs out as long as you're buying kits and, you know, utilizing gold sinks and stuff. So, yeah, there you go. Now, the last thing is these monastery credits. We've been collecting these from our quests. We can spend these at these quartermasters. One quartermaster will trade stuff for a single credit. One will trade them for 5. Oh, no, they all trade for 5. Weird. Okay, never mind. Maybe I'm thinking of a Nightfall feature. So, you may on occasion be rewarded for your service to an inhabitant of a Xingji island with a monastery credit. If you bring me 5 as proof of your good deeds, I will give you something in return. So, they're selling all kinds of weapons. We've got different shields, different mods, perfect mods on all of these, as you can see. They're not max level, obviously, because we're not max level, but they're all pretty cool. We could pick up this communing staff here. Requires level 8 communing, which we just got. Can you see how communing now is written in blue? What that's doing is that representing that we're buffed up, and that's because of our headpiece. Your rank in communing is normally 7, but it's currently modified to 8. There will be temporary modifiers and other stuff we can get through skills and food consumables and stuff later in the game. But yeah, so because we're at 8, we can actually use this. And what this would be is 10 energy, 10 to 17 dark damage on strike, a 15% chance to half the recharge of spells, and a 15% chance to half the casting time, but only of communing ones. So we could do that. There's a spawning one. So we could do that, or I believe this guy probably sells... oh no, they're all two-handed, everything he does. So look at all these. These are staves for monks and Ellies. These are staves for necromancers and ritualists. So, yeah, let's just get the communing stuff. I guess we can't go wand and offhand for a while. But, yeah. Cool. So, we get a brand spanking new weapon. Brand spanking new gear. And we can move on now. And we got our primary quest as well. Level 11. I hope you guys are all ready. Yeah, click ready up when you're ready. I guess they all did. So these guys with these green ticks, that means, hey, wooden potatoes, can we get moving? We can, guys. Let's go. So we will do this primary quest, and then we'll do a vote on a build change or something, right, guys? That sounds fun. Dye my armor. Oh, come on. Why do you care? It doesn't matter. You're going to be getting out of this gear soon. I'll dye it when we get to the next outpost, yeah? There are ones that take less than 5 at the monastery. Ah, there you go. Yeah, JJ Mars just pointed out, if you press F9, you can open up this variant of your inventory, which looks pretty good with a dark glass UI. And what this does is it gets away the fluff of the hero panel aspect and what's equipped. So you can kind of split the two apart if you like. Feels very old school, this, to me. But you can list them all out. So in this way, you can have all your kits down here and really easily identify stuff from the bottom and up. You can still do it with this, but it's more clunky. You have to mouse over, wait for it to go through, and then you go in. It's just a bit clunkier. So F9 is the best inventory option for Guild Wars 1 by a long way. He's done more pink dye. Listen, if we do dye again, I'm not going to go pink again. These Guild Wars 1 humans aren't thick enough. These butts could cut glass. Yeah, I actually agree with that. I really do. I mean, we got a hell of a chest on us, though. I will say, I will note that. Right, let's, yeah, oh my god, and we got the painful bond set up, don't we now? Buy some black dye. Well, if we get the money, I will. I've already said I'm not going to be stingy about, oh, right, okay, Mighty was Verizon is now on the far side. So painful bond hexes everything in range. Let's get Union up. Let's put that weapon on there. Bacon should be hitting really hard, and all of our spirits should be doing pretty good damage here. Nice. Oh, Rit's pretty good. It's pretty hands off. I get to look at chat a lot. Look on our minimap as well. All these minions over here. We could wait for the Necro here. So, again, we've got to be mindful. Gameplay that makes us be mindful of our allies. It's not just run around spamming stuff. We got to think about whether our monks have got mana. We got to think about whether this guy wants to summon more corpses before we move on. We got to think about where everyone stood before we press into an engagement in case we might be too outnumbered. I mean, that's kind of true in the sequel as well. Ah, so here we're on ice. When you stand still on ice, you get hit with icy ground. For 5 seconds, you move 70% slower. It's a huge snare. Icy ground cannot affect you if you would already move in. A bit of a weird idea thematically, honestly. So these are Yeti. We haven't seen any of these yet. But that was a Yeti boss. We're going to be up to skill cap soon as well, guys. Elite skills and skill cap, and who's ready for that? Yeah, I talked about Icy Ground quite recently when I was describing the Guild Wars 1 AFC and why one of the maps inexplicably is not in random arenas. And I explained how it's not actually inexplicable at all. It's got a fairly obvious story as to why. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Our painful bonds. So I need to tab over. Okay, never mind. Well, we did anyway. There you go. I was going to say, I was going to painful bond the one that was on high health, but then they all died really quick. So here's a feathered crest, right? And if I press F9, I've got to get used to this again. We salvage from that. You get feathers out of it, yeah? Which is a different kind of material. So what you get out of what you're salvaging is kind of, you know, intuitive. It should make sense. But unlike in Guild Wars 2, there's not tiers of feathers. It's like a feather is a feather. There's not like pristine feather and then large feather and then giga feather and then legendary feather. There's not that. And again, that's just an observation. I kind of prefer Guild Wars 2's way of having more tiers. Still wagging your tongue, Loshar. Oh, wait, sorry. No, that's not what he was trying to say. Anyway, Loshar says, there you are. We were told to expect you, and I was quite relieved, truth be told. We've all heard tales of your exploits so far, and we are mightily... And then Panaku, the assassin, said, still your wagging tongue, Loshar, or I shall make it still. And Zoe said, enough, both of you. But the situation is serious. Afflicted creatures have overrun the monastery. I fear we have arrived too late to save the monks within, but we must try. We will follow Talon's lead and charge when and where he tells us. Panaku, that means you. Talon, we await your orders. Panaku says, I will kill when it is time to kill. And Talon says, it is my hope that we will take them by surprise. Follow me, and when I give the order, strike quickly. My team's already, no doubt, going off to do that. These guys are kind of like the factions version of Sin, Menlo, and so on. Now, I say kind of because, in truth, Sin, Menlo, and so on will come here anyway. But they've kind of got that dynamic, you know. They're like the poster children of the big aspects of this campaign. You know, they represent the Tengu, they represent the new classes. You know, that's where we came from. But yeah, so here we can see that there are allies in our party. So we now have party members, allies, and we will have minions once we start summoning the spirits. I'm going to prioritize summoning onto Bacon instantly there. And then I'll give Doom the second one. Let's get Pain up. Lots of afflicted at this place. We're kind of beating the crap out of everything here. Let's get Shadow Song nice and early. Okay, cooldown for the weapon is done. Good. I'm watching Mighty Was Verizon. We'll get good at this build by the end of this, right as you guys vote for a new one, and I have to get used to some new skills. Painful bond up there. I don't know whether any of our spirits in range. Back to Bacon. Here you go. And Mighty Was Verizon. Refresh. So we get to keep our energy. When we refresh it, we drop the old one. So if you have any on-drop effects, they will proc as you refresh, which is really nice. This specific item doesn't have an on-drop effect. It's just, hey, get a ton of armor and energy while holding. That was the last of them. It looks as though they finished off the monks before we arrived. Yeah, so these monks were going to help us learn about the Afflicted, but the Afflicted have attacked them. Huh, in quite an intelligent way, it seems. So the question you should be asking right now in the story is, why are the Afflicted in some places and not others? What's caused the Afflicted to come to this temple? What has made this happen? Is it just pure bad luck? Or is there something more sinister going on here? You'll find in the end that the answer is a mix of the two, if I remember rightly. But here, it's a very specific thing that happened here that caused these things to attack here. Whether its intent was to get the monks killed, we'll see. Although you are still learning, it is clear that Master Togo places a great deal of faith in you, and I am beginning to understand why. Master Togo sent Sue, Sister Tai, Kai Ying, and Professor Guy, these are the other half of these characters, to the Haiju Lagoon to check the status of Linkei Township. He asks that you join them, and when you're finished here, aside from Sue, they are not the hardiest groups, and will need some help. Have a safe journey, my friend. So we get to hang out with the good headmasters first, and now we're going to go to the losers. I will leave immediately. It's interesting to hear of a township here in Xingzhou. They always kind of draw this idea that this was idyllic and agrarian and beautiful and untouched by the ruination and inequality that hits the city. But even here, there's a freaking township, man. So there's some poverty. There's some bad stuff lingering in the fringes. Lots of the Salvaging Hills trail we could... no, Salvaging Hill... The Jaya Bluffs that we could also be exploring here. But we're going to go back into that same cave and out the other side now. We could obviously kneel here. I think we do have Favor of the Gods. Well, I don't know, because the statues are not doing anything. I don't know how this works anymore. In the later years, they just changed so much. Are we going to summon the Reaper? No, we're not. I kind of like the idea of getting Lifesteal. It wouldn't send the Lifesteal into my spirits, though, I'm sure, so whatever. She broke her back to bow down, huh? So, oh yeah, we were fighting Tengu there as well. Oh, I'm going a million miles an hour. I really recommend you guys watch my actual LP on this because we talk about it at a much better pace. Sensali as well. We were fighting Tengu here. Why were we fighting Tengu? Well, the Angchu are at peace. The Sensali are not. The theory is that both Sensali and Angchu are in the Dominion of Winds these days in Guild Wars 2, by the way. So if a Guild Wars 2 Tengu race ever opens up, you should be able to choose from the various clans. You could pick Kuromi, you could pick, you know, any of these ones that are more native to upper tier, core tier, or I'm hoping you get to pick between Angchu and Sensali. Angchu they've got to do. I'm sure they'll let us pick Angchu because we'll want to be the same tribe that Talon is and stuff. But if they let us choose Sensali, I'll be thrilled. Sensali could just easily become like their Flame Legion though at the same time, so I don't know. The devs might not go the whole way. There we go. I hope that our monk is giving these this guy like Strength of Honor or something. You'll notice that this dervish is enchanted like all the time. It's kind of a defining aspect of dervishes to play with enchantments. I mean, assassins are no strangers to enchantments either, but we'll see that guy's basically permanent enchanted, and he rips them from himself to gain benefits. He has access to a special category of skill called Flash Enchantments as well, which are basically instacast enchantments. Let's go on up through this way. Hola, Mike, Nike, welcome. I was going to call you Mikey, which I'm just realizing is also a name. But yeah, if I could pick, I would probably be a Sensali, not an Angchu, a Sensali. Or, oh, I don't know, because then there's Quetzal. If they add Quetzal are green Tengu. They're not indigenous to this region at all. They're like really, really, really far away. But Quetzal are pretty goddamn cool too. I don't know, man. Oh, playing as a Tengu, if they added that as a race, honestly, they would get at least like 3 character slot sales out of me. At least. And a lot of playtime. Especially if it had its own level 1 to 30 story that then tied it and hooked it into Living World or ideally Core Tier 2. That would be so good. Quetzal are the coolest looking. It's not just me then, no. They definitely do look cool, right? I think they look cool. Let's keep brutal weapon on this assassin. Not bad. Because I've often wondered if I mostly just like the Quetzal because they're green and really like no Tengu. A green Tengu is a very exotic color of Tengu. It's really different to the other ones. We've got to get our ashes back. But I've often wondered whether it's just because it's different. It's not that it's better. It's just that it's different, and it's the last real tribe you meet. There aren't any. There are Tengu you meet and interact with, but really that's the end of the line. The Quetzal. I mean, story-wise, when you include Winds of Change, there's lots of stuff way after the Quetzal. And the Quetzal are completely inconsequential for the story and stuff. They do, like, nothing. But there's just something so exotic about them. What would actually happen is I'm sure that Clan would be a story choice, and Feather Plumage and stuff would be a cosmetic choice. Just like how you can have any kind of tattoo you like on your Norn and coloured tattoo on your Norn. It doesn't matter. That has no bearing on whether you're wolf, snow leopard, or whatever, right? And I'm guessing that it would be the same for the Tengu. But that would be pretty fascinating as well if they somehow bound those together. Are there any Tengu in Path of Fire? Tengu in Path of Fire. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And you know, if there's not, I would take that as a sign that the devs are doing something with them. That's an expansion selling feature, by the way. That really is. That's such a big thing. Yeah, and the idea that, well, let's not go back down that dead end. Oh, Rising Bile just chunked me. Look at that. That's cool. That's a Necro skill. I believe it exploits a body, and it swirls for ages, and eventually it blows up, and it hits really hard. Ignores armor. Nasty, nasty, nasty skill. Yeah, that's an expansion seller, a Tengu race, easily. And the idea that they might be super distant from the Tengu in this expansion, just to accent that aspect of the next one, makes sense to me. WP talking about Tengu, and I've just listened to Yeti noises. Yeah, what I should do is only turn the dialogue volume up when we're expecting cutscenes, to be honest. Because all it's going to do is just mean we listen to a ton of screaming. Here you go. We can summon a champion of Balthazar here. Balthazar is the champion of many causes. Attack 10% faster. Morale boost. My attacks have 10% armor pen. Fire magic is raised by 1, but I'm not an Ellie. All of my warrior attributes are raised by 1, but I'm not a warrior. So I guess we'll pick up... Let's take Battle Fervor. Awesome. I like that. That's a nice little system. I haven't talked about collectors either. If you choose not to salvage your Tengu scalps and stuff, there are NPCs that will trade you armor as well. So you can craft it in the way I described earlier, or you can opt to do this. Most players wouldn't opt to do this because there's no guarantee on the rolls of the loot you get out here, and you only have a 1 in 6 chance of doing it at this point. Like, this is where the party-oriented stuff, Crippled Guild was one, but that was a cool system. Okay, let's just move on up. I'll start with Union again. Since there's lots of AoEs available at the start of the fight, I'll buff the Dervish first. Painful Bond the Necro. In general, I don't get much time to pressure here because we hit really hard, so that's good. What we got over here, these are the Waju Falls. Very pretty. Lagoon over there. This is a cool map with a lot of detail, by the way, that we're probably going to miss. A little village. Is it weird that the avatar of Balthazar is back up in the Auric Basin Hero Point, even though it was after Path of Fire, or was it being gone a bug? What do you mean back? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. That map, in my understanding of the whole thing, is that that map should be set before POF. And so any residual energy associated with that temple, if it was connected to Balthazar, which we do not have confirmation it was anyway, it would be perfectly in keeping of the lore. If there was a bug that he disappeared around when POF came out and I've forgotten about it, and now they fixed the bug, that is all it would be. It wouldn't be some kind of statement about him still existing, I'm sure. The devs have got enough villains and stories to rapidly run through than bringing Balthazar back. Seems a bit crazy to me. How many episodes do you think this season will be? At least 6. Hopefully a couple more than that, but I don't know. They've been quite slow putting them out, haven't they? So, well, not super slow and not totally out of what I'd expect. I do kind of feel like I would have expected us to be at episode 4 a year on the anniversary of POF. I would have expected 4 episodes by then, you know, because especially how quickly they rolled into episode 1 after the expansion. But we've only had 3 episodes in a year since the X-Pack released, which is less than I expected. And there's other facets of the game that have had less than I've expected too, like raid releases. Hi, I'm Nye. Have you seen my nanny? My mother is really worried about her and kind of mad too. No, I haven't. I don't know what you're talking about. You are Makapoopabot, are you not? Please, you must help me. I do not have much money, but my son is ill. I hired a woman named Maya. Does that say Maya? This UI makes reading the text really hard. It's actually making my eyes feel weird. A woman named Mara to help me look after him, but when I woke up this morning, Mara was gone. And what is worse, so was my coin purse. I never should have trusted a stranger. I cannot leave Nye alone here. Can you help me? Just find Mara and retrieve my coin purse. Please, I know not where else I should turn. How despicable. Of course I'll help you. That's worse than that woman who was stealing irons in Walmart. Alright, let's go. Beautiful cherry tree there. I mean, the primary quest is here as well, and I'm a bit concerned that they might have triggered it. Mind you, here's the little kids. Wants to talk to us now. The thieving nanny. I think I know where Mara is, but my mother is so upset she will not believe me. Mara did take the coin purse, but only to place a bet on the Drake races that they hold on that little island to the north. Mara said that my mother would never approve, but she was sure she could win enough to pay for my medicine for years. Funny, though, I never have actually seen anyone racing drakes up there. Or anywhere, really. See, it's just weird. It's just, I like it. It's playful. There's like a weird banter to the Guild Wars 1 dialogue that I think just Guild Wars 1 gets away with, like, feeling like it has a much more serious and tone, even though the devs, the writers are clearly dicking about with a lot of it. I think it gets away with it because it's text and not voice acted. I really think you can just... I mean, it's a well-known fact that some things sound really good in text, but very stilted out loud. And I wonder whether... So, freaking Hexbreaker here. This is gross. Basically, I can't painful bond because these Mesmers are... They basically have Aegis, Guild Wars 2 Aegis, for the first Hex that would hit them. And so, because I just AoE'd the 2 Dragon Lilies, I broke both of their Aegises, the Hexbreakers, but thus taking quite a lot of damage. But my painful bonds didn't go through. I guess I opened up my others to do hexes, like the Necro with me. But, yeah. If you actually look at Wood Potatoes 2, one of my comps, my Mesmer Way comp with the mercenaries I talked about, actually utilizes a lot of Hexbreaker just for its hex removal, because heroes are very good. The AI is very good with Hexbreakers. Very simple skill. They know how to maintain it on themselves. They know how not to drain their mana on it. And essentially what happens as far as the AI works with Hexbreaker is... It's got a really long duration, but a really short recharge. So what happens is your Mesmers all cast Hexbreaker on themselves, and they are immune to the first Hex that would hit them. They get into a fight. They get the first Hex is ripped and saved because of the original Hexbreaker they had pre-casted. The AI would have pre-casted it. The opponent tries to hex them, it gets broken, and then the AI sees the second that happens and refreshes it. So you actually cleanse, essentially, 2 hexes instantly, and it's even better than cleansing because it's preemptive. And you do a bit of splash damage at the same time. So when you use Mesmer Way, it's just really nice. It's basically a double... It's front-loaded hex management. And then you just hope that Energy Surge and Energy Denial fucks them so hard that they won't be able to re-hex you afterwards. If they can, you're kind of screwed. Very good at the Kunavang fight. That's how I did Kunavang hard mode in about 2 seconds, just with Mesmers. Because Kunavang can't get some of their most dangerous stuff in because of Hexbreaker. It's a fun skill. It's a weird thought that basically every skill in Guild Wars 1, they created all these AI routines for how the AI handles it. Just... It's interesting, and, you know, that affected the heroes, that affected the henchmen, that affected your opponents, all of it. Every skill they made had a whole other layer of, essentially, FF12 gambits baked into it that you don't get to see. There's the interesting mobile project ArenaNet's been at for over a year now. Briefly even hired Michael Yichow to help develop the lore side of it. It'll be... Oh, really? Where did you hear about that? That's interesting. There's a lore side to it? I mean, you say over a year. We've heard about them having mobile devs and interest in that for years now. The expertise and the minds behind, you know, the extended experience. They announced that before Guild Wars 2 was out. They've clearly had their fingers in that pie for a while. Yay, seen some love for FF12 there. So what happened here? Did I mess up? Return the coin purse. Did I mess up by not picking up the coin purse? I think I did. This Necro's a little bit concerned. He's aggroed some Dragon Lilies. We're going to be cautious. Yeah, I didn't pick up the coin purse. I was too busy rambling about something. As long as I can get some support from these guys. I'll give myself some more armor with Mighty Was Verizon. And I'll interrupt them with Dissonance. There we go. All right, let's quickly go back down. So what was the difference between Dissonance and Wanderlust? Was Wanderlust just more cost-effective as an elite? Anyone struck by its attack is interrupted. Yeah, that's what Wanderlust does. Oh, or was Wanderlust knockdowns on attack? Maybe it was knockdowns. There you go. Someone just said it in chat. 0 experiments. Wanderlust is actual full-on knockdown. All right, there you go. Yeah, so it would knock down chain people. Oh, here, we think we can get the loot, but we can't. When you walk out of compass range, who it was originally dropped by, there's a bug in the game. You don't get to see who it's reserved for. That hit all of Guild Wars 1. always, and it's still here. Yeah, here we go. The coin purse is over here. My bad. I realise Wiki's not up to date with Michael as he's no longer with the company after spending about a year there. It needs to be updated at some point. Oh, another thing, Cossage. The Praetor's Canton in the Black Citadel has loads of dialogue that's not on Wiki, but it's extremely rare. I was recording there for ages for the LP, and just, it's amazing. I was trying to get some unverified footage that the Wiki lists about the arena in the Black Citadel supposedly opens, and there's water under there, and that sounds amazing, and I wanted the dialogue. I couldn't find it, but it did trigger some other dialogue that wasn't on the Wiki at all, verified or not. There's so much stuff, man. You would be surprised if the mobile thing was a big feature of the next X-Pack and it will go to be a bridge of whatever Guild Wars 3 is or a new IP. I've said this before. I'm willing to listen to ArenaNet for new products that aren't, I'm willing to listen to ArenaNet for things that aren't Guild Wars 2, for new products, but I will only stretch so far. I'll be interested in the same IP of a different genre and platform. So if the mobile game is a card game, but it's still Tyria, I think as a consumer, they still have my trust and I'll go for it. I'll be interested in it because the IP is the same. Or I'm interested in them changing the IP, but keeping the genre and philosophies the same. In which case, I will trust them and I'll be like, okay, I like the gameplay of Guild Wars 2. I like the gameplay of Guild Wars 1. I like the philosophies behind these games. So I'm willing to try a new IP. I will be willing to follow them with either of them, but both at once I think is very dangerous. So if they release a mobile thing that is also a different IP at the same time, I'd be concerned about that. I think they need to put one foot in the door first and then the other later, instead of both at once. I just don't know what consumer faith they have engendered since founding as a company when they've done very specific thing, the same IP in the same style game ever since, and now, you know, to double away from that. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Maybe other people would just be like, yeah, let's do it. Here we go. So, oh no, this isn't the right coin purse, but it is torn, empty, and covered in... Is that blood? How would I pay for Nye's medicine now? But I'm sure you did all you could, McPoopart, and at least that thieving Mara learned her lesson. Don't steal and gamble, kiddos. Look at these morals. There we go. Let's push up to 9 communing now. Sweet. Hi, I'm Nye. Have you seen my nanny? Okay. So these guys are dropping tons of minis. An everlasting cost tonic. Everyone's costs! Hell yeah, I'll join the cost party. Yeah, baby. Oh, when I did Domain of Anguish on my LP way back when, we did this with a Marganite tonic, which was really expensive at the time. So I had to trust all 7 people I was playing with to actually not steal it. Yeah, this is it, baby. Cost it up. Cost the boss. Cost the Ritualist, cost the Elementalist, Dervish, Monk, Assassin, and Necro. Cost can be everything and everywhere. Cost is in your hearts. Alright, where's our primary quest? Up this way. Yeah, I believe that at some point they have to pivot to Nike. I do. I stand by that. I'm pretty much excited. But if playing Monster Hunter World has taught me anything, it's that there are some beautiful possibilities out there. And I'd love to see Tyria reimagined. Just as I was excited in 2008 to see the game be updated and the engine be updated to get with the times and contemporize, I'm pretty excited. I mean, in many ways, Guild Wars 2 does contemporize with its expansions. POF looks better than Heart of Thorns, that looks better than Core. I don't think that's very deniable. But there is a very big leap that's possible going to newer versions of DirectX, native TPAA, and all that kind of stuff. Like, these games look beautiful. And so solid with FPS. Monster Hunter World is such a solidly running game for me at the moment. I get like a really high frame count at 1440p, like super high refresh rate, well over 60, and it never wavers. And it's gorgeous. And then you go back to Guild Wars, and you know, I'm not one of these people that whines about Guild Wars optimization all the time. I think it's okay for what it is. But frankly, there's some ridiculous stuff possible elsewhere now, and you can see it. Right, so Union here will hit all allies, which I'm really happy with, because we've got to defend Professor Guy, Sister Tai, Kai Yin, and Sue. This is where I'm in my element as a Ritualist, because we basically just get to create our nest of spirits and go ham as they all charge into it. You can see the mobs coming up over here. If Monster Hunter World had a better camera, it would be a 10 out of 10. I'm a complete noob here. I only played it for an hour or two last night, so I don't really know. But maybe later I'll understand those criticisms. Are we expecting a new Guild Wars IP? Sorry, I missed that last bit. A new Guild Wars IP? Isn't that a tautology? Or a new IP would mean not Guild Wars. It would mean not Tyria. It would mean another MMO. That's the thing. I'll accept another MMO or RPG or whatever in a new IP, or I'll accept another Guild Wars game, but this time it's a real-time strategy, or it's a grand strategy, or it's a card game. You know, I'll accept one or the other. So yeah, you can give ArenaNet can give me a new RPG as long as it's still ArenaNet and it's still, hey, look, we've been making RPGs for over a decade. We get RPGs, we get valuing people's time in RPGs. You know, that's what I'd need to hear to be like, yeah, I'm with you guys. Let's do it. Sue says, thanks for the helmet, Poop, but you have come so far since your arrival at the monastery. Now you have more business we must attend. I mean, realistically speaking, I will get and cover anything ArenaNet makes, anything, just because everyone in my audience is going to be interested in it, and they'll want my take, and I'm interested on that level too. But purely as a fan, you know, and if I put myself in the feet of a normal human being, that's the criteria I would hit. Just before the plague creatures began their attack, Master Togo sent word that we were to meet him at the gates of Zendaijan. He asked that you accompany us. Zendaijan is just south of here. When you're ready, lead the way, and we will follow you. So hopefully I can accept this quest before they run over to the gate and trigger the cutscene. We're going to get a cutscene, though, and we're going to get to do the mission in a second. Level 12. We should really be like 16 to 18 for this, though. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll do more side quests. Oh, yeah, good point. The Festival of the Four Winds as well is going to be ending soon. I have done... This is the first festival for ages that I've done every single daily, I've got 100% value out of it. I will have every Zephyrite skin by the end of it, I'm pretty sure, because I think on Tuesday I get my 5th and final one. Or my 5th and final daily for the final thing. Which is Dagger, I think, is the one I didn't pick up. The feels of this game, you miss it so much? Do you miss the game, or do you miss Koss? I've got to say, I think I miss Koss. Koss is going to be everywhere in this cutscene as well, by the way. It's just going to be Kosses. I hope you guys are ready for the Koss train. You AFK for a minute and now everyone's Koss. Hell yeah, they are. Everyone was always Koss. Yeah, and make sure you kill one boss this weekend, guys. If you're doing your festival dailies, you've done that anyway, but yeah. I usually miss 1 or 2 dailies, but I know life to the dailies and the rewards this one as well. Yeah, what is it about it, Telmoji? There's something about it that just feels really good. All right, let's whack the dialogue volume up. We are not in Korean anymore. Or are we? Yeah, we're back in English. Okay. So, afflicted, bombing people. We've missed a lot of the minutiae and intrigue that was actually relevant and layered at this part of the story, but whatever. Oh dear me. Please, you must not travel into the valley. Perhaps you have not heard the news yet, but a horrible plague has infested the entire valley. Many of us who live there were forced to flee. It was awful, just awful. Dwayne, protect us. Well, if Master Togo has faith in your skill, then so must we. Let me know when you're ready, and we can head into the valley. We're ready to help clear Zendaijan of this affliction. If Master Togo has faith that you can destroy the afflicted creatures plaguing the valley, then I do too. After all, when has the Master ever been wrong? Never! As far as I know, anyhow. However, I beg of you to remain on your guard at all times. Many of your brethren have already perished within, and I would hate for more lives to be lost to this horrible plague. Was there anything else you wanted to discuss? We have a duty to the monastery. Let's go. Your entire party is about to be moved. This is the thing in factions. You just had to click and click and click and click and click. Here we go, guys. Shh, 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 shh. Get off your phones. Stop eating popcorn. Dim the lights. You're about to have the most cinematic experience you've ever experienced in all of Guild Wars. I like how all our dialogue so far is a cow mooing. Yeah, it's a Korean moo. Yeah, it's Korean. Oh, there's not even any dialogue in that. Oh, here we go. Oh, he's not Kos. Damn it. Our party leader isn't Kos. What are you playing at, man? Come on, man.
I'm glad you have come.
What was that?
I do not know. But let us hope that whatever made that sound did not suffer long. Be on your guard. Who knows what foul things we may find inside.
Just like Minister Cho.
Whatever it was that infected my old friend has spread. We must get to the bottom of this. Come.
It was a nice touch having one be a human and the other being a full-on afflicted there, just to sort of solidify in the audience's mind that these are one and the same. Even the quest-skipping morons, not morons, normal people that skip all the quest text, even they can resolve and understand that, you know, visually immediately there. All right. Yeah, brilliant. Great. 10 out of 10. And yes, you're probably right. The reason why he wasn't Kos was because... Oh, Mad King with a Mad King Mini. That's pretty hype. The reason why he's probably not Kos is because we did go through a loading screen, so it will have disabled the tonics. All right, so they have it. I will try Zendaijan on this stream. We will go for it. We've got plenty of time for it. My fellow brothers and I are grateful that you have brought help. Balthazar, grant you courage and strength in these difficult times. But we are all pretty low level, gang. We've got one like leader of the group who's level 15. This will be amazing if we can do Zendaijan at this level. And I'm kind of excited just to play, just to wipe and fail it. I really am. I genuinely think hard about your builds here, guys. Set your skills up carefully. Bring renewable reses if you can. Let's actually try and low level do this. I will be really excited to try this out. I'd love to do some challenge runs for Guild Wars 1. What's wrong with me? Why do I want to challenge run everything? For Christ's sake. Wouldn't that be cool, though? Like 8 players that all low man stuff? Low level stuff? So why I'm running around like a lunatic here is because I'm wondering if there's a skill vendor. It doesn't look like there is. Let's speak to brother... No. So let's go back to Saitang. Oh... I'm going to leave the party for a second to go back to Saitang, and then I'll return. I'm just going to show you guys some skills and get a straw poll going 4-hour build. Everyone else gets to be careful about their builds. You guys on stream are going to decide what attributes we go for, and I'll try and work it from the rest. I don't know if there is a skill trader here. It seemed to have been pretty comprehensive in terms of the other services. Here you go. So, some new skills. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to run through the list of skills, and as I do this, for all the attributes... As I do this, I want you guys to think whether you like the sound of the attribute or not, and hold it in mind for the straw poll that I'm going to post the second we're done with it, yeah? So hopefully that will make sense to everyone. So sit up, listen, and hopefully we'll have something fun come out of this. Obviously, the attribute you pick in the straw poll will dictate what skills we use, so run from the skills backwards in your minds, essentially. All right, so first we're looking at blood. The new blood skills are blood bond. For 3 seconds, whenever our target foe and all the adjacent foes get hit by our allies heal. And then if one of the foes dies, it splashes heals as well. Basically, blood bond means as our allies melee the enemies, their blood splashes all over our allies, replenishing them. And if they die, we get even further healing. Ignore the destroyer on us. Look at the badass Guild Wars 1 destroyer designs. I want to see some of this, man. So yeah, kind of a cool idea. Dark bond. For the next 30 seconds, whenever I take damage, a minion takes 75% of it for me. Easy enough to explain and understand. That's not spirits, by the way. Spirits aren't minions, probably? I think so. Lifebane Strike. Target foe takes damage, shadow damage, and then if their health is above 50, I steal health from them. High energy for a spell that looks so shite, but don't forget, these numbers are already low because we don't have the blood magic investment right now. And the final new blood spell here is the Well of Blood. We exploit a corpse to create a well of blood where the body was, and for 8 seconds that well exists, and allies that are standing in it get regeneration. So, you know Healing Breeze, that the monks are regenerating our health a lot? Imagine being able to do that on the entire party in a well of blood as we explode a body. So there you go, that's the well of blood. Moving over to channeling, the only new channeling skill is this one. It's a very potent one, though. Splinter Weapon. We cast the weapon on our ally, and that ally's next 3 attacks splash massive damage to adjacent foes. So our current weapon, the Brutal Weapon, buffs all of their attacks for half a minute. This one buffs just a couple, but the weapon will shard out and do good AoE. Splinter Weapon is a high-level skill that a lot of people use. There's no new communing abilities available. Curses, we've got Chillblains. We poison ourselves, and foes struck in our area are hit for cold damage and lose their enchantments. It's a massive energy cost on Chillblains. I'd be very cautious of this, unless you want to troll me. Parasitic Bond, bread and butter skill of Curses, Necros. For 20 seconds, we hit our target, and it loses health. And then, when the bond dies, we gain health. Really spammable, 5 energy, 2-second cooldown. You just spam that around, and we just degenerate the hell out of stuff. And we slowly get our health back as we go. That's like literally an auto attack, really. A Guild Wars 2 style auto, almost. Then we've also got Suffering. For 6 seconds, all of our opponents also degenerate. So that is spread degen in a massive area. That's on a huge energy cost, realistically. No sacrifice skills here, unfortunately. Death. Moving over to Death, we've got Bitter Chill available now. The target is... So remember, if we invest in Death, we get minions, and then also we can do these as well. Target is struck for 15 cold damage. If that foe had more health than us, then it instantly recharges. So Bitter Chill, again, is almost like an auto. You can just keep spamming it because it's really low energy until we are healthier than our opponent. Rising Bile, I showed you this before. It's a Hex. For a while it does nothing, and then all of a sudden there's a big explosion in an area. I thought that was a corpse exploit. It's not. It's just a Hex. I think that procs when the enemy dies as well. The longer the Hex was on before ending, the more damage it does. And then Rotting Flesh. Disease. So this is kind of cool. Disease, imagine in Guild Wars 2, you could contract bleed from your allies by walking near them. Yeah? Imagine how crazy that would be. And then it spreads, literally like a contagion around. That's a thing in Guild Wars 1 too. What's awesome about it in Guild Wars 1 is you're constantly fighting such a variety of species, and it only can be a contagion from individual species. So... because we're fighting Afflicted, if I put rotting flesh on the Afflicted, it won't spread to us as living creatures because the disease won't cross species boundaries. It's a really cool mechanic. I wish they did more with it in Guild Wars 1, and I wish they took it forward to Guild Wars 2 in bigger ways than they did. And you had interesting things, basically, with hero comps, where you might bring a Char into your party or a Dwarf into your party, specifically to counter disease. And you'd think with Guild Wars 2, a game where there's 5 playable races, that would have been an interesting facet. But then they decided that races would have no impact on the game whatsoever because they didn't like the idea of it. Again, another perhaps example of a philosophy... A cul-de-sac, you go, I mean. Moving on. Restoration, we could play a healer now. We're all going to be very low level for Zendaijan. So, blind was Ming Soon. We hold his ashes when we drop him. Everyone gets blinded. Pretty boring. Flesh of my flesh. This is a proper resurrection skill. Unlike the Signet, we can use this as much as we like. This doesn't even have a cooldown. This is one of the best res skills in the game. Spell. Lose half of all of our health. We res a target party member with what's left and then a certain percentage of energy, and that raises as we go. So with 0 investment in restoration magic, we can quite spammably low energy resurrect people at, you know, the Guild Wars 1 equivalent of 1200 range earshot. So that's a very good res skill right now. Mend, body and soul. Target ally is healed for 20 health, and they lose condies for each spirit we have. So we spam a ton of spirits, and then we're a pretty good condi cleanser. Recuperation. Create a level 1 spirit. Spirits in range gain health regen. Very expensive spirit, but it regenerates. Soothing memories. Just a straight up heal. We heal our ally, and if we were holding an item, say Mighty Wheels of Horizon, at the same time, we get energy. So very spammable, good energy replenishment. Spirit Light. Sacrifice our own health and heal someone around near us. If a spirit is near us, we don't even have to sacrifice. Also, extremely OP, very strong skill you find on some of the most potent PvE builds in the game. You see how strong Rit is. Now, finally, we've got 2 special ones at the bottom here. Spawning power is our primary attribute. Now, remember, we've already been playing a lot with spawning power, but not because of skills. Spawning power has been increasing the duration of our weapons and our spirit's health. Well, look, there's even skills associated with it too. So these skills, these spawning power skills, only ritualist primaries can ever really invest in and get good value out of, because you only get access to spawning power as a primary writ. So these are very profession divining skills. So, Boon of Creation. For 33 seconds, whenever we create a creature, that says creature. So death magic minions will work with this, and spirits will work with this. Any creature, we get health and energy. So this is like a badass enchantment for us, really. It increases our sustain and our energy management. Just rolls on whenever we summon a ton of this stuff now. Doom. Spell. Strike the target foe for lightning damage, a maximum of 135. And it increases damage for every ritual we have up. So if we summon all of our spirits and then we doom someone, we spank them with a big hit. That's also lightning damage, which, by the way, we can buff with some of our pre-existing skills, like Cruel was Dao Shen. So we could be holding Cruel was Dao Shen and then doing an immense spike that gets buffed by Cruel was Dao Shen, yeah? And then, finally, Rupture Soul. The target spirit ally is destroyed. And then all the nearby enemies are struck for massive lightning damage and become blinded for 7 seconds. Remember, Guild Wars 1 blind doesn't shed after an attack. So 7 seconds of blind is a lot of blind. And it's AoE. So you know how Necros get Death Nova for their minions? This is kind of the Ritualist's version of Death Nova. Rupture Soul. So that's spawning power. Last but not least, you guys can't vote on this, but we do now have the ability to buy Draw Spirit. This is like the opposite of spawning power. This is no attribute at all. Everyone can invest in it. It's kind of like, they're pretty lame skills in general, but they've got utility of various respects. So, target allied spirit comes to our location. So, we can move a spirit now, quite clunkily and slowly. But we can move spirits. Draw spirit. I'm going to buy that because that's not relevant to you guys' voting. So, there you go. Those are the attributes. Hopefully you've got an idea of what you want to vote on. I'm going to give you the straw poll in a second. I'm just typing them in. So will it be blood, channeling, communing, curses, death, restoration, or spawning power? You can vote on more than one. The top 2 at the end of this straw poll will be the winners. Okay, Jesus, that took a lot of talking. So, and remember, it's a hard instance. Now, what's this trade people are trying to do with me? What's going on here? What's all this? A mini cost. That's very sweet of you, but thank you for showing it off to the stream, but you can keep it. I like the idea of the mini costs running around. I'm happy with our Abyssal. I'm forgetting to use them as well, to be honest. So. Yes, later we will get a stronger version of Draw Spirit, don't worry. But for now, it's this, and we will use this. Yeah, Reg, it basically is. It's just a worse version. But this isn't PvE only. This one can go into PvP in the competitive formats where they had a bit more integrity. Look how good that looks when we click it under the cursor. Oh my god. The dream. Can you imagine if in Guild Wars 2 we got Umod working? And think about all the fan art that people make for Guild Wars 2. Imagine if someone did a pass on the Guild Wars 2 skill icons to up-res them and do them new arty versions. Imagine how cool that would be. That could be in our hands. WP, are you playing or streaming World of Warcraft tomorrow? No, I'm not. Here you go. Here's a Marganite. So the Everlasting Marganite tonic was cool in that it randomized the type of Marganite you were as you did it. Cost, you'd always just be cost. But on this, it would randomize. You might think, well, is that bad for the cost one? Should the devs have put more effort in? And you might say no, because cost is cost. But there were different hero armors for cost, so it might have been a nice little touch for them to have done. But they never did in the end. Yeah, you see how there's 2 different Marganite styles here? Marganites were cool. You guys think flesh of my flesh is going to be needed? Maybe it will. So yeah, I'll give you guys a little bit longer to vote on that. Let me do something here. Here's a link to Umod, by the way. Open source. Anyone can develop it. Go, go, go. Umod 1.0 is the version I'm using with Guild Wars 1 right now. The Guild Wars 2 in-game skill icons are 128 by 128. That is bigger than the default Guild Wars 1 ones. But the ones you're looking at here are 256 by 256. Actually, I think they're 254 by 254 for some weird reason. But yeah, they got pulled from the actual, like, better versions that ArenaNet themselves had, and they implemented it into the physical trading card game. And then people found the PDFs of the physical trading card game and cropped it all out. I can dye my armor in the meantime. Okay, fair enough. I'll dye my armor. Keep voting, guys. Keep voting. Can we vote on your outfit? No. What color should I be? Silver, because it looks almost the same as what I currently do. And it's expensive, and I just want to spite you all. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, one more silver, please. There we go. Doing the gauntlets barely changed anything at all. There you go. Yeah, to get gold dye, it was like mixed silver with yellow or something. I can't remember anymore. But then you would sell the actual vial at the end. Why are there no MMOs with good-looking grass textures? Well, grass is quite a resource-heavy thing to do. I mean, what, as a flat texture to paint the ground with? I mean, I don't know. But in terms of actual rendered grass and stuff, it's actually one of the points of pride of Guild Wars 2, actually, I think. For when it came out, the way that the grass moves and interacts with skills and player movement was... I've always respected Guild Wars 2's. Maybe at this point, this many years later. Alright, so you guys want spawning power first and channeling second. So we can change our head wrap as well. So spawning power... I mean, I'm not going to dump it all in there. Let's just see. We will go double attribute, not triple. Let's go get another headpiece. You guys are going to love this. There you go. So that's our spawning power headpiece. And I will buy a dye as well so that you guys don't freak out because it's not going to be silver. The new one isn't going to be silver. Oh, my fragile little heart. I was going to watch a Twitch stream and he almost didn't have it all matched out. At least he thought to do it. There you go. Avoided disaster, guys. There you go. Now, so we have the spawning power there. And what are we looking at? Channeling. I will start runing later. I'm well aware we could do that already, but I will start runing later. Channeling. So we will go 10 and 7 with 4 points overflowing into restoration. Okay, so I'm going to clear my bar. And I'm going to go to the skill trader. I'm going to fill out these skills here of these attributes you guys have picked. You guys are really digging the writ angle. There's not much necro stuff. Look at that. The ones all at the bottom. Curses, death, and blood. All at the bottom. Okay. Another way to do it is I could do 2 separate polls. One for primary attribute, one for secondary, and then even one for tertiary. But it's going to take too long. Oh, God. Gotta go. Wait. Freaking keyboard. Okay. So we are going spawning power. Let's pick up all of these since you guys voted on that heavily at the top. Oh, we're out of gold. RIP. Okay, so either someone gives me gold so that we can keep this going, or I'm gonna have to start vending a lot of stuff. Let's vend anyway. Sell. No, not like that. Wait, yeah, like that, isn't it? No, those are regular materials. Here you go. Basic materials. Last paid unknown. You can't even pay like this. There's so few players buying this stuff. Here, I can sell these bolts of cloth, 5 of them, because I myself bought those in the economy later. That's how dead Guild Wars 1's economies are. Last known, last paid for, unknown. Yeah, let's just vend them then at a regular vendor. Oh, serial experiments would like to trade. Oh my god, 90 plat? Dude, thank you very much. 90 plat, that will see us through the entire project. Dude, that's really nice. Thank you. I don't quite know what the economy's like at the moment in Guild Wars 1. Whether there's so much inflation that doesn't mean anything anymore. But 90 plat, that is very, very nice. Thank you very, very much. That's awesome. That should get us through all kinds of NPC stuff. Yeah, we can go crazy with that. That's really lovely. Everyone give a big hand to serial experiments there. That's way more than I was thinking at all. That is a lot. Thank you very, very, very much. How many ecto is that, I wonder? There was someone trying to give us 50 plat yesterday. I mean, people are very generous in Guild Wars 1 now because nobody has anything to spend their money on anymore. Right, so... I mean, if this was my main account, I'd be just as generous. In fact, I could multi-box and get the money off of my main account. Here, Flesh of my Flesh, thank you again. You'll notice each time we buy a skill, it's increasing the gold amount it's requesting. That will go up to a platinum for each. So this represents at least 90 skills we could buy. So, Restoration, Flesh of my Flesh. I'm sure you guys voted on that because you wanted Flesh of my Flesh on the bar. So let's grab that there. Next, Spirit Light might be, I mean... Mend Body and Soul, Spirit Light. These are all really premium things. Draw Spirit I'll run just for the funsy. No, I'm not going to run with Draw Spirit. I'm sorry, I'm not going to use that. What else were we? Spawning Power and Channeling. So we'll dump on our 3 spawning power skills now then, I guess. So we're going to run Boon of Creation. We'll just keep ourselves buffed with that. It's scaled up to 45 seconds, 4 energy, and 35 health, which is great. Doom. We're going to be able to hit big with Doom. Look at that icon as well. Beautiful. And Rupture Soul. Maybe we can run as well. Look at that. It's 110 lightning damage. If we get a good Doom/Rupture Soul on one of our spirits, it's not bad, guys. And so Channeling you guys wanted as well. Let's see what... I'm guessing you wanted Splinter Weapon because that was available. So let's slot Splinter Weapon. Let's slot Blood Song so we can actually Doom and Rupture Soul. Well, Doom's not going to hit hard. Okay, so this is not actually about spirits near us. It's about recharging binding rituals. So I can't combo that off of allied binding rituals. The only way Doom works is if I have a lot on my bar. And I don't have a lot on my bar. Because we went Rupture Soul. So if I have 3, that would be 90 damage. Oh, the temptation to get rid of Flesh of my Flesh is really high right now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get rid of Flesh of my Flesh. It's really high temptation. The reason I'm getting rid of Flesh of my Flesh, we'll put Splinter Weapon over there as well. So these are our spikes. The reason is that now we can have 2 more nature rituals with us. Oh, but we haven't got a place to invest. We haven't invested in any other ones. We've got the only channeling one we've got. Well, let's pick up Pain anyway, because he's cheap. And let's pick up Shadow Song, because he's great mitigation. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to go Communing again, guys. Just a little bit. I know you didn't vote on it. And I'm not going to go against the vote. I'm just going to invest a tiny bit in there. Union is Communing as well. So hold on, we've got 4. So we've got 4, so we will hit the max value Dooms. There you go. So this is another Spirit Summon build we've got here. Another trade? What's going on here? Oh, an XP booster. For 10 minutes, your party gains double XP from combat. Thank you, dude. That's a classic one. Hero's Insight. We'll do that in Zen Daijan. So basically, we're going to maintain this enchantment. And we can keep it on ourselves almost 100% of the time now because it's 45-second cooldown, 45-second duration. Problem is, it's got a 2-second cast, so it won't go the whole way. We don't have any modifiers for enchants just yet. If we get a 20% mod, we'll be fine. But, yeah, we'll maintain that, which will give us energy management and health for the first 4 skills. These 2 combo off of them. Big renewable damage on Doom. And Spirit Explosions here. We'll use a lot of Rupture Souls as well, because Doom is on recharges, so it won't be enough to just cast Pain and then spam Doom. We have to continuously recast Pain so that it stays on cooldown, and if we're recasting Pain, then we may as well rupture its soul each time. So this does work. There's a lot of synergy there, and then just the Splinter Weapon for the funsies. That's our build. There is no flesh of my flesh. We are reliant on the other people in the team to do the resurrection. Let's try out Zendaijan and see if we can get almost off of Xingje. The Valley of Zendaijan has long been a holy place to the people of Kantha and a destination for pilgrims seeking enlightenment on Xingje Island. It is the home of Zunra, an ancient protector that takes the form of a Kirin. Many wary travelers have been buoyed by the restorative powers of Zunra's ancient shrines, which still stand to this day. Zunra's cool. Alright, so we're back in the team. I'm no longer the party leader. I'm not going to ready up just yet because I want to speak to Brother Hanjui. Is Anguish Nightfall? I think it might be, yeah. The plague is spreading from the Sacred Valley here at Zendaijan. Yijo Tan scouted ahead. That stupid teacher's pet snob prick. He's going to steal all of our glory. But we have not seen him in quite some time. I have a feeling he will be overjoyed to see your face. Oh, I'm sure I'll be overjoyed to see his. Refresh my memory. What's been happening on the island? You have traveled throughout Xingje, warning allies of the plague that has taken Minister Cho's life. Master Togo believes the plague is originating somewhere from this island. Okay. What's the situation? What is all these trades going on? No, I don't want tomes. Thank you, though. We've got enough money. Honestly, we are clear now. Thank you. Togo and the headmasters have tracked the source of the plague to Zendaijan. So it came from here, guys. Yijo Tan has scouted ahead to investigate further. Seek the aid of the valley's guardian, a Kirin named Zunra, at the temples throughout the valley. To summon Zunra, simply ring the bell at one of the shrines. What else can you tell me? 1. Plague creatures explode upon death. They injure anyone nearby. Outfit yourself with the best armor you can afford. That's what we've done. 2. Attack the afflicted from afar with skills that cause health degeneration or by using ranged weapons. Nice. Thanks to all the assassins that they just added to the game, huh? Literally, I was here as an underleveled assassin, my first experience of factions. I got stuck on this mission. I wonder why. You'll see what they do with the Plague Miasma in here as well. Protection prayers, party buffs, and healing spells can be put to good use. Watch out for the purplish haze known as miasma. Coming in contact with it causes you to lose health over a period of time. Avoid it when you can. But if you become infected, simply move to an unaffected area and wait to heal. Zunra from the Sacred Valley will help you with your cause. Summon Zunra at a shrine by ringing a ceremonial bell. We'll learn about that stuff in a second. I think Togo is here with some dialogue. Certainly these guys, all the henchmen we can talk to. It feels so weird. I'm getting very strong flashbacks right now to recording the LP for you all. Really strong. It's weird because it was a few years ago that I did it now. It's amazing how this feels so fresh in my memory, and yet Nightfall and Prophecies not so much. Weird, weird, weird. Alright, I'm ready. Let's go. There's no other NPCs. Into the valley we descend. The Valley of Origin. Please keep your beef with Yijo for the playthrough. It's hysterical. Yeah. Okay. I'll keep it for the playthrough. Absolutely, I can do that. That won't come to a very abrupt end or anything. Alright, here we go. So the one advantage we have against... This is going to be hard, guys. The one advantage we have is we're all humans, so we can spread out when we get plagued instead of heroes and henchies. You have exceeded even my own expectations, Mukpupat. Now I must ask for your assistance on one very dangerous task. Something is befouling this village, this valley, and whoever or whatever it is taints everything with which it comes into contact. Without a known cure, I fear this epidemic will only spread. I sent Yijo ahead some time to investigate, but he has not returned, and I fear for the worst. We must discover the source of this evil and put an end to it before more innocent people die. Alright, and he's off. So, the team is already clearing their way through pretty hardcore. Do you see that purplish glow up ahead? The very air there has become sickened. Avoid it, lest you catch some disease. And so now they're speaking to Zunra, who is an ancient fish horse creature, a Kirin. For hundreds of years, I have watched over this holy valley. If your heart is pure, I can keep your body free of all impurities. If you become now the headmaster Vang says, if you become diseased, Doomfire, make sure to keep your distance or you will infect us all. Like somebody just... Oh, no, they didn't. Master Togo says, ring the bell at any of these shrines in the area to summon Zunra, the guardian of this valley. Okay, you can take the lead now. I will follow and watch your progress. So I have an enchantment from Zunra. They rang the bell over here, okay? For 30 seconds. Next time we would be plagued, we're instead cleared of miasma or a condition instead. So Zunra, we can summon this wherever we want, and she basically cleanses us, okay? So we got to be careful of that. There's also a ton of afflicted around, and we've got to watch out to not over aggro them. The team's doing really well, considering I've not done anything to help. Oh, another monstrous fang. Hello. Gladly take that. They've done awesome. And we now have a minion army. How many minions does our Necro have? Oh, I can't see his active effects by clicking him. Of course I can't. Rip. Well, he's got a lot of minions. He's running the Fiends variant as well, so he's more of a DPS-oriented one than Meat Shield. So, if I remember rightly, here's some classic Guild Wars 1 gameplay. It's all about pulls. It's all about making sure you intercept patrols at the right level. So, we got us... Oh, I forgot to cast Boon of Creation. Great. All right. We have to learn our build. We Boon of Creation, and then we spam our stuff. We should be in range here to cast Doom, because everyone's on cooldown, right? So let's cast Doom. There you go. 100. Look at that chunk. Suck it. And he tried to cast lava arrows on us, but the arrows will have been obstructed. Yeah, 100 damage. Oh, that's good. Now our other combo is we run into melee, we Bloodsong, and then we Rupture Soul. Boom, 99 damage. And we took some splash back in our face there because... Alright, Doom's paying off pretty quick. I should have ran the item spell that buffs it. I should have just gone pure lightning DPS. We'll play like a lightning spiker by the time this is over. I want to play a good like buffer. I want to play a good restorer. It's very versatile. So you go, I've been plagued. Miasma. While suffering miasma, you have -5 degeneration. It spreads between creatures of the same kind. Luckily, it's only -2 right now because we're also under the effects of recuperation. This spirit, which I'm assuming one of my friends cast. No, nobody else is Richless at all. So Togo cast this. So Togo's actually healing us up. Just another nice little bit. Look at that. I just had a profound moment where I felt the benefit and an understandable, relatable benefit from one of the NPCs with me. You don't get that in Guild Wars 2 because all of their abilities have become so generic and like they're not keying into the player system, so you don't kind of get that experience. Like, but you do in Guild Wars 1, you do, and it pays off as an RPG for it, I think. So because I've got miasma, I'm not going to stand near the others because I'll kill them. What I can do to sustain my health is keep Boon of Creation up and just spam spirits, even though they won't give me any other benefit. Casting the spirits will heal me. Zendaijan Temple lives in the valley ahead. We can either travel south through the caves or north past the waterfall. Look at this. Let's disable our... Alright, it is less foggy than it used to be. Alright, here we go. So the Afflicted Zai. Basically every boss you're going to find here in this instance. I'm going to move right on over and we're going to double burst him. Ready? Doom. And then Rupture Soul. Boom. And we put Blind on there, which is great. You'll notice I did very little damage there. That's because these guys are rangers, and rangers have inherent elemental resistance. And we're doing lightning damage. Now remember, our staff does dark damage. Many of our other abilities have done shadow damage. When we do, so you want to think about stuff like that. Again, remember weapon swaps, F1, F2, F3, F4. I've just noticed the UI is pretty cool here. This is another reason why you might want to set up weapon swaps. If you're a really good player, you would have, like as an elementalist, for example. Well, not necessarily. It's tricky because your attribute and stuff. But having different mods on there. You remember we got, like as a ranger, for example. This is a much better example. Remember we had the icy bowstring. you could have 4 identical recurve bows, but they all have different elemental bowstrings. And depending on the profession you're hitting, you swap. And you turn off your elemental damage when it's a ranger, or you turn on, you know, when it's going to be something weak. And as warriors, you might want to organize whether you've got blunt and slashing and piercing damage. I mean, there's various... As an assassin, you can set up different daggers that do that too. So Zunra's getting kind of low. We don't want her to die, but it's not a mission failure if she does. Here, I'm just trying to get some splinter weapons out on people. So you see how low the cooldown is on splinter weapon? Basically, I can keep spamming it on Bacon here. And he procs it all and runs through it, and then I spam it again. And he procs it all and runs through it, and I spam again. So the splinter weapon's a bit clunky in this build because it doesn't allow us to focus on the other sides of it that we want to do. But yeah. We also get a choice on this mission. Something that the personal story and stuff never did. Even Guild Wars 2 of this day doesn't do very well. You can choose your route through the hills to a large extent. The north or south route are very different. I'm not sure if it was well enough designed. One favors one party while one favors another, frankly, but hey. So here you saw we did obscene damage to the warrior because he cast Frenzy, so he takes double damage. Let's see. The target allied spirits destroyed and all nearby. Is that nearby to me or nearby to the spirit? If it's nearby to me, it's very different to Death Nova, to be honest. Yeah, we're going to get through this in flying colors, all at level 12 and stuff. I want to keep doing this low level. Let's keep trying. Let's go to the fucking city. I mean, these guys are only level 10. This is a low level mission than I thought. I honestly thought that this was like, yo, be high level here or get out. But I must have been wrong. Let's try. I'm going to try using the 5. All right, it is. It's near the spirit. Okay, it is. It's like Death Nova. Let's get Union up again. And doom the Elementalist over there. Good. 133. It's amazing to be doing such a big hit so quick. Oh no, a crane. Tried to blow it up a bit. There was no point. Okay. I'm not doing very well juggling the energy on this, but it's just incompetence. We should have brought someone who knows how to fight, Master Togo. There are so many afflicted creatures here, it will take us some time to kill them all. Wow, Headmaster Vang, screw you. You forgot how ugly they all were? Designs were really good, just unappealing. Yeah, and they're really varied as well, you know, each type of thing. Oh yeah, and you get these Ravagers. These were a really rare creature. Here I'm going to summon a spirit very quickly and blind very... Never mind, they're all blown up anyway. The team does more damage before I can even get my combos off. But, yeah, the idea there would have been to Rupture Soul and get all the blind out on the pack. Remember, there's no target cap. So if you stand in... if you wade into 50 mobs... Not that that's a common occurrence, but if you wade into like 10 mobs, 15, they're all melee hitters. If you get that blind off, you will blind them all. You will basically become invulnerable. I mean, some of them will get attacks through because it's a 90% chance to miss, not 100. But, yeah, you know, if I summon this by a bull... Oh, my God. I'm going to be really careful about when and how I cast my things. So they accidentally spirit weaponed myself. And you can't drain spirit weapon stacks on range hits like this. Oh, maybe you can. Maybe you can. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, here. Let's go Union. The interesting thing about rupturing Union's soul is Union... Look, Union basically insta-dies when I summon it anyway now, because there's so many packets of damage around. Think about it. One afflicted soul explosion blows up and hits just a couple of minions, and Union's dead. Union, you know, hits all of that straight away because there's no target caps. So, interestingly, I could Union Rupture Soul straight away and still get, like, almost max value out of Union. It's an interesting idea. Right, so here, by the way, another mechanic is Zunra. Oh, who just died. Rip. Oh, that means I've got to get through quick. Zunra cleanses the miasma as she walks through it, which can lead to us not having to worry about this. Please, can we heal and cleanse this crap before we go on? If they aggro now, we might be screwed, because this is a lot of pressure on the team. So here I'm just Boon of Creationing to pump my health up. Which kind of wasted those a bit, I guess. Another splinter weapon for the assassin. Let's put Shadow Storm. See, I want to Shadow Storm and explode, but it's not doing it. I think I should just focus on Doom, because I get earshot on Doom. Doom is probably going to be more of an intelligent choice for me. So we can pre-cast the splinter weapon as well, right? Because it lasts 20 seconds. I could get 2 splinter weapons up precasted. Look, I can get it on the assassin and the derv, and they will rip people up very quickly. Maybe I can focus on that, especially for the final boss. I want to have you guys precasted. I want both of you having the weapons on there. Boon of Creation back. This guy's coming up. There's a little temple over there. We want another bell, really, because when we get to the heart of the valley, you're going to see there's a lot of miasma. Alright, so let's try it. Rupture Soul of the Union instantly. Oh no, it was too quick. Union died way too quick. Like, that was a spawn death. We can doom this, though. Yeah! Oh, suck it. I'm still not going to be anywhere near those Ellies. But hey. Alright, let's move on through. I can kind of keep myself alive, to be honest. Oh, shit. I just aggroed. Here we go. Rupture Soul. Blind on the warrior and the thing. Look, he's frenzy striking me. He can't do anything. And I think I blinded the assassin over there too. I did. I blinded them all. Did I blind the entire packet? No, this warrior didn't get blinded. Look! The affliction has claimed them all. Even Farmer Zheng Zhou has been corrupted. Yi Zhou should have known he could not handle this on his own. Yeah, Yi Zhou. You shouldn't come in here, you idiot. You loser. Hubris. Headmaster Vang, that is enough. Yi Zhou gave his life protecting... Oh, wait, what? Oh, was that Yi Zhou that we killed there? No. We're not supposed to know that yet. Yi Zhou gave his life protecting those around him. There is no more noble act. I know it's difficult, my friends, but we must put an end to their suffering. They would want us to do so. I think we triggered dialogue a bit early. This dialogue is supposed to trigger at the entrance. There you go. The bombshell, guys. Afflicted Yi Zhou up there, level 18. There you go. Teacher's pet. He dead now. So we go on. And there you go. I actually really like that about this game. I like that Yi Zhou, his idea of a character and killing him at this point in the story. I think it works on a lot of levels. I thoroughly enjoy it. Got so many minions. Awesome. I like how Guild Wars 1 gameplay right now feels meaningful in what we pick, but also it feels like there's loads of possibility and variety, and that's a hard middle ground to hit for your players, you know. I don't feel like we're conforming to any kind of meta right now. We're just having fun with our skills, but we do have to be careful about our synergies and what we're doing, and it kind of works. Do we want Zunra? Alright, no need, they say. So let's keep going. Like, we're just a silly mix and match of what we want to do at the moment. Either that or other people are really, you know, conforming quite heavily here. So I've already got my energy management up. Look at my energy. It's fine after summoning almost everything here. So, Splinter Weapon 1. Refresh. Splinter Weapon 2. Oh, it's going to feel good casting Doom on... Oh, he died anyway. We cast it on Zheng Zhou. Oh, no! Yi Zhou screwing us over, even in death. Yi Zhou died, thus refreshing all of our skills, thus meaning Doom did 0 damage. His last laugh, in death, he does something to dick me over. I never did like that guy. Screw him. Oh, we get a channeling staff off of him. I'll be taking that. Thank you very much. You don't need that anymore. Look up ahead. That building is engulfed by miasma. Surely the source of the plague lies up there. Let us destroy afflicted Kana and put an end to this infestation. Let us. Let us indeed. So, get Boon of Creation back. Union again. And you can see there's a lot of miasma. We've successfully pulled out. Somebody's really on the ball right now, basically. And they pulled out. Big nuke on the Necro. Give Bacon, Spirit Weapon. And there we go. A big nuke on the Monk now as well. And we want to press up. I'm going to summon Pain and then Rupture its soul. Oh, we missed again. Damn it. He walked out. Well, there we go. We don't need Zunra alive at the end, do we? To, yeah. Cool. There you have it, guys. So we're about to see, if you remember the trailer we opened these streams with, it had a hand on the floor, on some floorboards and a strange mark. We're now at that point in the story, and what a lot of the Empire Divided talked about, we're now at that point.
I had hoped that my eyes would not bear witness to this symbol again.
Master? What is it?
This is the harbinger of the deceiver, the mark of the wicked, the guild symbol of Shiro Tagachi.
The man whose death turned the forest to stone and the sea to jade?
The very same. This does not bode well for Kantha. We must head to the mainland and get to the root of this evil before it can... Well, let us not think about that yet. I have sent a missive to Menlo of Ascalon, one of my former students. He will no doubt be making his way to Kantha shortly. If this symbol means what I think it does, then we could all be in great danger. I must find my brother in Kaineng City. He will want to know of this. You will come after and meet me. Talk to First Mate Zhang to book your passage to the mainland. He will get you to the other side safely.
All right, there we go. Togo's a bit of a bossy man, but I guess we are his students, so that makes sense. So the loot that was for us, but still on the floor, we get a choice to pick up, so you don't have to go on some mad dash at the end, which I've noticed in Monster Hunter you do, I think. And yeah, there you go. Barracuda SSBM says, it's hard to tell who's doing what in a lot of group content. I actually agree with that, and I think that one of Guild Wars 1's big mistakes is gearing everything for 8-man content. I was thinking of making a video, right? And I don't know whether I will. I don't know how strong the script would be in the end. But I wanted to make a video called True Wars 2. And that's a really kind of gimmicky, baity name, right? But True Wars 2. And the idea is the video is just like an essay, a thought experiment, imagining what game is the best of both worlds. What is the design behind True Wars 2? What is the design behind the true sequel to Guild Wars 1? You know how everyone always miserly and cynically says that Guild Wars 2 is not a real sequel because it's too different, blah, blah, blah. What is the middle ground? Where is it? And, you know, I think that if I did that video, one of the facts that I'd present in it is actually, I think in True Wars 2, I would have Guild Wars 2's sense of party caps. I'd have either 4-man or 5-man for everything. All the end game, all the raiding, the dungeons, the whatever you want to call it, all the core story, everything, it would be 5-man party limit. But it would be, so it would be 5-man, it would take that from Guild Wars 2, but it would be, as Guild Wars 1 is, in that it's heavily cooperative oriented, and it's not all soloable. It is all... A large chunk of it is, hey, you should party up with other people. It would be the campaign format where I'd have all primary and secondary quests be soloable, which Guild Wars 1 didn't do, so all of that would be soloable, but I would have the core story rotate you into campaigns that you have to party for. There's no way around it. You have to party for them, and I would have that party limit always be 4 or 5 players. So you get that middle ground of seeing what people are contributing. You don't get too much visual clutter on screen. You get to know the people you're with very well. Partying up doesn't take years and years and years, even though now you're being asked to do it for core story. That's like the middle ground to me. You know, that's just one facet of what I believe True Wars 2 would be. Guild Wars 1.5, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, you know, there's lots of little things like that I think is a really fun kind of thing to speculate about, you know, that marriage between the two games. I was thinking about that a couple of weeks ago. I don't know whether I will make a video for it because literally I spend all day working on the LP lately and then a stream. So we'll see. But yeah, Zuna up here, she's got a quest for us. She says, my energies are exhausted from the effort of protecting Zendaijan from this sickness. My weakness has allowed a dark spirit to enter the valley. It feeds on the miasma and grows stronger even as my power wanes. This demon is not the cause of the sickness, it is merely an opportunist. But each day it remains here. The imbalance in my valley increases. The scales that keep the good and evil in check will be flipped. And... Scales, do you see? Because she has scales. No, I will not stand by while my valley is defiled. Help me to cleanse the valley of this plague, so that I may reclaim my power and return to this precious valley to its former state. We must retake Zendaijan. And this is our other attribute point quest, You Have My Aid, which we will be doing on the next stream tomorrow. An unwelcome guest. We've got to go back Get our attribute points, maybe another side quest or 2, and then it's the city, baby. And we're up to 8 man. And then 16 even very quickly after that as well, you know. I was going to say something there, and I've completely forgotten what it was going to be. But will it have Guild Wars? I don't think True Wars 2 needs Guild Wars. I think that its PvP would probably go back to a GVG wank-off format. I think you would do that. Some kind of stronghold base assault style thing, essentially, is what I'm saying. Yeah, another 15 attribute points. But it's going to be next stream, guys, because we've been going for 2 hours, 40 minutes. Jesus. What? When I last looked, it wasn't even 2 hours yet. What the hell happened there? Yeah, it's 7:30. Guys, I've got to go. It's been fun. If you enjoyed this stream, if you like checking out the Guild Wars 1 stuff, if you don't find the rambling too much, I'd love to see you again tomorrow. Same time, same place. You can click the follow button that's on stream to be notified, or you can join us in our community Discord where we chat about random bollocks, but also Guild Wars and other great stuff. And I always post in Discord as well as tweeting when I go live. So cheers, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. I'll be back with more factions and the cities of Kaineng. It's about to get really gross and depressing very soon. So enjoy the vistas while we can. That'll be tomorrow. Catch you next time, guys.